Shout out my nigga Loon in the building. Top of the top, Loon, salute. Yo, Loon, this what's going on right now where Pharaoh at, bro. This crazy. Smash them likes on your way in. We're not glorifying this chant. We just shedding light on it. You feel me? A lot of people don't even know this is going on. I got friends over there. I have friends over there, my boy. Whoever Sir Auto Egg is, I got friends over there, my boy. This is what they're currently dealing with. Westside Media, what do you do, gang? I'm up on an early one, fool. Got this Candace Owens, Kanye West interview too. I'm gonna run, but we just running this, just showing the folks what's going on out there. You feel me? Shut up. Shut your mouth. Some people want to know what's going on elsewhere, not just in their buttholes, Auto Egg. Yeah, and again, I have friends and family in the UK. If you don't like it, just go on about your business, bud. For real. Thank you. My people up early with the shenanigans. Mind your business, Auto. Who the they think they playing with? This is in the UK. They're having protests about immigration and everything because everything that happened with the two little girls that were killed by the schizophrenic young man. So it's going up out there. All kind of protests from both sides. Violence. They throwing bombs, all kind of shit. Again, this is stuff that we don't really pay no attention to over here in America because we just going through what we going through. But again, I got peoples out there, and I thought it would be interesting for the people to know. Elijah, top of the morning, gang. Good to see you. Good to see you. Top of the morning. Top of the morning. Steve-O, what it do, gang? Top of the top, man. London tapping in. Bro, this is crazy what's going on out there where y'all at, bro. I don't know if y'all get the coverage of the shit that we have going on out here, but I was just like, damn, I got peoples out there and shit too. I was just like, this is different, man. We don't get to see this kind of stuff all the time. And they don't really publicize this stuff out here. I'll be honest, this is not like blasting across our news and shit, and this is what y'all dealing with right now. That's crazy to me. Salute Kush Boy in the building. Eat these. That name is hilarious. But yeah, bro, no problem, man. I'm just trying to do my 1-2 Paris tie. Salute, gang. Elijah, I see you in the building. My good people. What it do? Smash them likes for me, y'all. It don't cost nothing. Just smash that like for me, y'all. Shout out 420. I'm gonna just call you 420, gang. Look at this, what I'm talking about. My boy said, facts. I would have never seen this if I didn't come across your stream. That's what I'm here for, bro. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to provide. You feel me? I appreciate you, gang. Sub up if you haven't subbed up already to the channel. Salute.
Like we just saw, and quite literally to take a breather because it's 3:05 on the meter. Moving out. We're going to stay behind this police van so we're protected.
That nigga got a skateboard helmet on. Golly.
Back up! Friendly, the officers here. From Bronze Commander saying that this is off the scale in terms of resource.
Salute my dog Elijah. Appreciate you, gang. Shout out my cousin Dre in the building. They beefing about two little girls who was killed by somebody with mental health issues. It was a black kid who killed the it was a black kid who killed the two little girls. So now everybody's just, they tight, you feel me? They're attacking all the Muslims, all kind of stuff, you feel me? Top of the morning, F-bombs. Who's wildin'? Dre, what you talking about? Wagwan, Delilah. Fuck you in there talking about, man. Top of the top. Salute the mayor in the building. What that shit do, Loon? Hope your friends and families are so big, dog. Yeah, they solid, man. Thank you for that for a 20. They solid though, bro. I be talking to them all the time. You feel me? But this is what's going on out there. You feel me? Shout out David Blackston in the building. Top of the morning, gang. Top of the morning. They going yay in the UK. Salute Boss Money, man. Top of the morning. Wherever y'all at, top of the morning, top of the morning. Out here, you can't even get that close to law. That's what's wild to me. I keep seeing these protesters, how they running up and doing all this stuff. You can't even get close to law like this where we from. Golly. Golly. I don't like that kind of shit. Again.
Mind your back.
the police out there are event security. David Blackstein, I'm just gonna let you know that, bro. I mean, they don't really have blower like that out there, but they do have blowers. Don't get it twisted. But it's just not like that. You feel me? We about to switch over to this bullshit ass Candace Owens Kanye West interview. Ernesto, don't spam the chat with that stuff. Salute to your Christ, but I'm just saying, don't let's not do that. My boy,
All right, guys, now it's time for a conversation that so many of you have been waiting for. Candace plus Ye. I guess it kind of starts with a time machine. I got to take you guys in a time machine back to October 3rd, 2022, a day that will live in infamy. Me and Ye premiering shirts at his fashion show, which read White Lives Matter. Definitively a moment I will never forget. We broke the internet. There's no other way to say it. And people just couldn't believe, how could a Black person say White Lives Matter? We could only say Black Lives Matter. And it's just interesting to see how the media sort of paints a narrative and there's absolutely no truth to it. I mean, what really happened is Ye called me and he asked me to simply be at his show. Never asked me about wearing any shirts when I was there. We were backstage and he sort of held up the shirt and he was really in the creative process. There were tons of models running around and he just said, I need you to wear this. And I said, sure, because I knew instantly what he was trying to do and what he meant. Shortly thereafter, though, everything changed. And obviously, aside from people being angry at us wearing the shirts, then it shifted into this conversation.
Is that Harry, bro? Is that Harry talking about his knee with the oil up? Because you're bugging.
About Ye and his anti-Semitism. And I can say definitively that it was the toughest moment in my entire career. I had never felt more pressure externally from the media and from friends for me to condemn Ye. And I didn't take the bait. I didn't take the bait because, as I have said many times, Ye had opened up to me about some things that were happening in his life. And you're going to hear in this conversation what those things were. And you can understand how someone would feel if they were subjected to the things that Ye was subjected to. I, of course, wanted the world to hear it back then. I had invited Ye to come on my podcast at the time, and he was slated to come on. But the evening before, I found out that that was not going.
You got multiple burners, gang. You code for that. Tammy's mom. That's hilarious. Shout out my nigga Harry in the chat, man. Salute, gang.
Going to be a possibility. The network that I was on didn't think that I was the right person to interview him.
She can never weasel her way back. She's done enough. Straight up.
And because of our friendship. And he was really upset. He was very upset. He essentially said that my voice was being controlled and something overtook me in that moment. And I said, look, Ye, I obviously cannot overrule this at all. If I had my own platform, I would obviously host a conversation with you, but I don't have that right now. I do not have that right now. But what I do have is a camera, and I have a friend who knows how to run a camera, and we can just record this moment and we can lock this in a time capsule. And one day I will have my own platform and I will premiere this conversation. And that day is today. When I say that it was a tough moment, you were even looking at me when I watched this conversation back. You can just see it on my face. I was postpartum. There are very few times I'm not a crier. I definitely am not a crier. That's not how I express emotions, but I remember going through this period and there was a moment when, because I was postpartum, ladies know you had that moment where your hair sheds postpartum. And I remember...
But you're not a crier? That's weird. What are you, an alien? Are you an alien, Candace?
Dealing with the press cycle with Ye, dealing with friends and followers who said they wouldn't support me ever again unless I came out and condemned him, making a decision not to condemn him, and standing in the shower and my hair was falling out in clumps. And I just said, please, God. And I was just crying hysterically, have mercy on me. Please just have mercy on me. I just need to get through this moment. I'm a breastfeeding mom. I can't take anymore. My show's just gone 5 days per a week. Make it stop. Make it stop. And now I look back on that and I just think, everything happens for a reason.
Salute
And whatever
Jose
inspired me to
Appreciate you,
say,
gang.
let's just put on a camera, turn on a camera here and record and have a conversation and lock it up in a
Salute
time
Paris Todd,
capsule.
That's my dog.
It was because that was exactly what needed to happen at that time, and a better moment for people to hear what Ye was thinking and what he had to say is right now. So guys, I invite you to listen to this conversation, Candace plus Ye. It was recorded on October 17th, 2022. I hope you like it.
Yeah, I'm happy. Happy to do it tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, it's better than doing it in the morning. I'm obviously not the best morning person. We were talking about doing a Godcast for a while, actually. So this works. Why did the word Godcast come to you?
Rhyme a podcast that had God in it.
Okay. So it wasn't an ego thing. People will say, oh, yay, Jesus, Godcast. Is there any messaging in that?
Just the more we could say God, the better. The more we could say God in the media, the better.
Yeah, I agree. So I think one of the things that's the most interesting, I want to dive in this way, is people don't actually understand. There's something about you and I coming together that the media cannot stand.
Right.
Like it is.
They just can't stand either one of you. Shout out Kush Boy for that, bro. I was talking. Appreciate you, gang.
Like it is. It's actually
Yeah,
fascinating to me.
boy,
I
addiction.
called you super stressed out 3 nights ago. And I was just like, what the heck am I going through right now? Like it's another level that you graduate into when we're talking about Ye and we're talking about the media. I don't think people understand when I see the attacks come from every angle, every side, in every regard. They'll attack you on your they'll attack you on your children. They'll attack me and my relationship. They'll go after family members. My dad called me stressed from Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah, he called me stressed from Hawaii.
Well, it's so funny that you said, you remember I talked about the gray hat and the gray hat hitting your table? Read the last text from my dad out loud. We talked about the miracles. Read out loud the last text.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
when
not-
do you want me in Hawaii?
Salute
That's why I
Leisure
don't
Scott
say that.
for the
Well, my
sub.
dad's in Hawaii
Appreciate
right now.
you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and he called me stressed up. When I picked up, he was just like, Candace, what is going
but you
on?
don't start saying shit
Then
like
I
that.
actually
You
started
can just say that,
laughing. It
Dre.
was kind of comedic relief because my dad is not really like that. And he was like, I'm reading all these headlines. And my sister was texting me. My uncle, the whole family has just been texting me are you good? And
All hell is broke loose and all heaven has come through.
yeah, in a way, yeah, it is. It does feel like all hell has broken loose. And the last time I went through this, though, it was a similar thing. It was for some reason, the game of life was just Candace and Ye are not allowed to come together.
Salute Kush Boy for that sub, man. If y'all not subbed up to the channel, please sub up right now. Smash them likes for me, gang. Appreciate y'all.
Why?
I mean, it's the impact. It's the gut feeling with it's the intuition and the intellect. It's the gut with the information. It's the idea meets the study. And that's how other people have risen to forms of power. God is the only power and we are vessels. God is a true artist, and we're the vessels. And he's calling for me, for us to lean into these combinations. What they do is they'll do everything to keep the artists away from each other. Like when me and Demna were next to each other, it was such a powerful combination. When me and Ken were next to each other, that was a powerful combination. When me and Jay-Z were next to each other, it was a powerful combination.
Appreciate that, DJ Scott. Appreciate that.
So I love these moments of like these powerful combinations together, and whatever feel you do for like the futurists, the people who can see what the future is, the kids 20 years younger, 40 years from now, 80 years from now, when they see this, that's a big thing, is lean into those people that everyone tells you, like, you don't need to be next to that person, but you have something in your heart and your gut on why you should be next to that person. I've had people like comedians that you know of call me and said, stay away from Candace Owens. And, you know, like literally my, I guess they use the term friends, have done the same to me, even to the point where I'm going to be on Bill Maher this week. I'm going to be on Pierce Morgan. I'm going to be on, I was just on Chris, how do you say his last name? Tonight.
Chris.
Cole. Let me see.
He don't know them niggas.
Chris Cuomo.
Chris Cuomo. Wow.
Yeah.
You did Chris Cuomo?
Yeah. Tonight, like 30-minute segment, half talking, half a little bit back and forth or arguments. And then when you're landing, they're saying, oh, I can't be on Daily Wire, but I can be on all these platforms. And you said downstairs that they told you the reason is you weren't going to push back on me enough.
Yeah.
Like Chris was saying stuff like, you need to understand and you need to behave. And he said that at one point in the interview. I said, whoa, let's play that back. You need to behave. You're not supposed to talk like that out loud, Chris. You know, we know that that's what it is. And I was just talking to my girl. She was in the car listening to me while I was doing the Zoom, this live Zoom. And afterwards I said, this is the way I felt in Hollywood the whole time I was there. Like people were telling me, like, you need to behave. You cannot wear a red hat. You cannot talk to Candace. You cannot say how you feel out loud. Like today, they took down.
Salute King Buck in the chat. Salute, gang. Salute.
My Drink Champs. They took it off of whatever platforms, YouTube, Drink Champs, Revolt. And they also took me off of the Balenciaga sites. And I just looked at my girl and said, yo, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Like, I'm so happy because I have this freedom from beholding to these brands that say, we only rock with you under these conditions. Like, we can have you be a black person, but only a black person that says that's wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. Which at this point, now that I've worn a White Lives Matter t-shirt, I'm totally fine with wearing.
White Lives Matter t-shirt sounds crazy. But Elijah, I did see that. That shit was emotional. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That shit was different, bro.
A Black Lives Matter t-shirt, you know, as well, because all lives matter. But even all lives matter would have, you know, I cut what I'm saying, this train of thought.
No,
So
no, you're making perfect sense to me. I had two thoughts today. The first, well, I had a lot of thoughts today. I didn't just have two thoughts today, just to clarify.
Yeah.
But I was thinking earlier about when is the first time that I heard Ye was mentally ill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up on your music. Obviously, everybody knows, like, you know, like when you first were spitting through the wire, you know, and you had a remarkably long career in the public sphere and nobody had ever called you mentally ill, right? And now, no matter what you say, when you don't exist under, I would just call it Hollywood terms, their number one rebuttal, if you have an idea, you're saying things like, well, he's mentally ill, and he already said he was mentally ill because he said it on this podcast, and therefore we don't have to listen to anything else that he has to say because we've already said he's mentally ill. And so I actually researched when is the first time that the public told us this. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in 2017 that they said that you went to the hospital and you were bipolar, and
It's
that
2015.
2015 when Trump was
Yeah. About to, right when Trump got elected, I went to the hospital less than a week after that. Because the entire time while he was running, people told me that my life would be over. I would be on the wrong side of history. You know, like literally people threatened my life and told me, I did not stand up and say, hey, this is what I believe in. And that's who I am. That's what my character is. So I think that
they made you think that.
yeah, it's like how people, they said the reason why I couldn't be on Daily Wire is the Israelite comment. And every Black person is fine with calling ourselves Black and being called Black. But when I bring up the idea that we're Jew because we are from Africa, the Bible was the majority is like set in Africa, then it's challenging. And we talk about on the George
Salute the chat. Smash them likes for me. I see you in the building. Yada I mean.
Floyd documentary is called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold. The idea that Black people are not Jew is the greatest lie that's ever sold, because you don't see the Jewish abortion rate at the same level as the Black abortion rate. 50% of Black deaths a year is actually abortion. You don't see the Jewish divorce rate at the level of 70 something. You said the percent of Black moms raising their kids by themselves. You don't see Jewish people shooting each other down in the street on World Star and then rapping about it. It's just not, there's not Jewish content like that. And also Jewish people do business together. And that's what I said on the Drink Champs. Hey, these are things that I'm envious of. You know,
I think the first thing that someone would
Salute my dog West Adams in the building. Top of the morning to y'all. Top of the morning. Smash them likes on y'all way in here.
Me and my brother, we used to sleep in the living room with my mom's in the same bed at my grandma's house. Like, we didn't have a room. We was young, 6th grade.
say, if you said that, right, is same for Chinese. You don't see Chinese people shooting each other. You don't see Chinese people with this super high divorce rate. You don't see Chinese people and Japanese people and Korean people and Hispanic people-ish, but no matter what, nobody's rates of violence and abortion are as high. White America, forget Jewish America, white America don't have these same rates, right? And so they ask, why isolate Jewish American population?
Well, for Black people, okay, with the rates of that ours being higher, we're still, you know, you go see the slave movie, you see like a slave get their teeth pulled out in front of another slave. Mm-hmm. We're still getting our teeth pulled out, you know, literally like in jail. I have friends whose, you know, family members went to jail and they got killed by an officer. And then the officer like all of a sudden quit and they're not there anymore and stuff. And like, so they can't do the trial and, you know, so we're getting left and right still treated like slaves. And with the reason why I specifically say the Jewish people is the Jewish people, like how the Armenians worked in a meatpacking district. Mm-hmm. The Jewish people came into power in the 80s, truly, you know, when the divorces started happening because of Wall Street, because the like Catholic lawyers wouldn't divorce people. And they came into money the way how the darker Jews, the Black people, are coming into money now. Mm-hmm. And they had to, and they did a great job. They colluded. They, before that, they were very involved with the civil rights movement, which actually the movement was, it moved Blacks from being Republican over to becoming Democrats. That was what the movement, that's where the move happened. Now everyone's, well, why are you calling them out specifically? When I said DEF CON 3, I didn't get an opportunity to say what that meant, but it meant I'm going to call out all these things that have been done to me specifically by Jewish people that so happen to be businessmen or businesswomen, but still it was done by Jewish people to me, to the darker Jew. And I was going to go one by one. And the reason I said it like that is just to say, I know you guys are going to call this anti-Semite, and I'm not afraid of that title. Now I'm going to lean into that title. So call me whatever you want, because you call me void already. What's the definition of black? Void of color. Some people, artists may say it's all color. And it could also mean it's like what they did. And when I ran for office and they showed me on the TV and they blacked my face out and they had me be void. And I think that Jewish people always will tell you about the trauma and the Holocaust. So one of my favorite lines on the Drink Champs, you actually hit me about this, is when Doug Charney said, hey, I want to take you to the Holocaust Museum. And I said, I want you to go to our Holocaust Museum, Planned Parenthood. We're still in the Holocaust. 6 million Jewish people died in the Holocaust. Over 20 million darker Jews, black people, have been aborted. More babies are aborted in New York at this point than born at this point. And my thing about the media, the majority of the media, over 50% of the media, at least, it's probably 80%, but over 50% of the media is run by Jewish executives. And they allow all of this abortion-driven content that more affects the darker Jew, the black people, more than any other race. But then you ask the question, you can't even Google, when you Google Jewish abortion rate, it'll be one piece of information. The next information is from 4 years ago or something. There's no information about it. And if I attempt, my mom said try and it's felony. If I fail by attempting to have a conversation with a Jewish person about the abortion rate, they won't allow the conversation to be had. That's why I said, hey, I'm me tooing the Jewish race. That's saying, hey, you guys got to come up and say, did you do this or did you not do this? And I'm calling a lot of times, say people feel like I'm very selfish driven because I talk about things I specifically went through. So I said, okay, well, I'm this voice for the actors, the musicians.
Salute my good people in the chat. YouTube Politics, I see you. Gangland Pharaoh, I see you. Salute the gang.
The athletes specifically, I know, are in situations where at least 4 of the people that they do business with are Jewish, and those people know each other, and the athletes come and go, and that 4, 5, 6, 8 people remain. The athletes come and go like cattle's in the stable. The actors come and go. The musicians come and go. And that mainstay of that
Angels.
Jewish, just say crew, because it sounds less ramped up than mafia, right?
Drizzle Bish in the building. That's my dog, Christoph Metcalf. Salute the gang, salute the gang. Smash them likes on your way in here. If you're new to the channel, please sub up. Please sub up.
The mob sounds less mentally ill. So let's say
I'm about to get some coffee, y'all. I'll be right back. I'm going to play this, though.
There is definitely a crew. And I've been there, and I've been talked to certain kind of ways. And you know who else wouldn't be talked to a certain kind of way? Kobe Bryant. You don't get talked to a certain way. I don't get talked to a certain kind of way. So things that I'm saying out loud, hyped up or calmly, I'm saying things 5 times a day that Black people, leaders, not specific Black people, just leaders throughout time, have been killed for things that we're doing 5 times a day. So one thing for the Black community and all of this woke culture and, Charlemagne and different things, it's bro, this is getting ridiculous at this point. People got to put some respect on the fact that I'm actually brave enough to say this out loud. That's what's lit. That's what God is inside of me. That's why I feel so good to be used. You done got me to a point, y'all call me so many names. You've disrespected me for 3 years. Forbes wouldn't call me a billionaire. it is important if people are calling you crazy to be like, oh, but I'm a billionaire, because it's like, it's not me being classist. It's just me fighting against that, saying, okay, you're calling me crazy, but I must be doing something right. Now I'm not doing something, I'm doing everything right. And then to reach to the concept, the idea of being the richest Black person ever. And we're just at the beginning.
It seems like we've got something new to worry about every single day. I mean, do we even know who's actually running the country at this point? We don't. There's wars, inflation, the persecution of political opponents. It doesn't seem to ever stop. So here's what I am doing. I am protecting my savings with gold and silver. You probably heard me talk about my newest partner, Goldco. They're a top-rated precious metals company with over 6,000 five-star reviews. They've helped me buy precious metals, and they couldn't have made the process any easier. Right now, all you have to do is make a minimum $15,000 cash purchase, and you'll get a 5% instant match in bonus silver. I mean, honestly, this could be the fastest 5% that you ever make, so do not sleep on this offer, because once the bonus silver is gone, it is gone. Go to CandaceLikesGold.com to learn more. That's CandaceLikesGold.com, or call my friends at Goldco. The number is 855-222-GOLD.
You know, George Farmer was so elated by the response that we were getting. And then Elon Musk was retweeting what's going on, or tweeting about what's going on today. And it hit Bloomberg and it's top trending. And I said to my chief of staff, get me a plane. I'm going to Nashville right now. And the feeling is right. Then we went to a restaurant, and the restaurant literally had all the same letters of the name my mother gave me. It was Kayne. So that's another, it's like you're talking about your dad with Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And like, I had to, you know, you guys saw that. You saw me hand the phone over like David Blaine. I couldn't have written that. My dad is like, because the funny thing is, where is your dad in Hawaii? Because I have this feeling like, let's go to Hawaii because I made really good music in Hawaii. And I just want to go to Hawaii and actually do what Jewish people love the best out of me, is make music and make people really happy. So,
that's interesting, because I think what's missing in the conversation and the media trying to spin what you're saying is that you are talking about an industry where there are Jewish executives. And that's the first time I've actually heard you say Jewish executives. Mm-hmm. And I think before, the way that they were trying to sort of callously interpret it was that you meant every single Jewish person in the entire world. Every person walking the street has this power. But you have lived for a very long piece of your life, at least in Hollywood. And what is weird to me, and where I'm trying to play catch up, is that there was a piece in the LA Times written by a Jewish guy named Joel Stein, and he said, who runs Hollywood? Come on, man. And he's a Jewish guy, and he wrote about how all of the executives in Hollywood were Jewish. And that piece wasn't called anti-Semitic. But yet now, if you say that...
Shout out my cousin Drea. Thank you. I love you. Shout out to all the people in the chat. Gang peepers, I see you, gang. Everybody in there, smash that like for me if you have not already, please and thank you.
Or if you say that a lot of the executives, especially in music... I thought this was something that people knew. I've heard this in Jay-Z's music before. So I was very surprised that there was this, oh my God, how dare he say this? And it's anti-Semitic for him to say this. And how can you say that, I think what you're talking about is that every piece of what you have created has been owned by a Jewish executive, and that there's a disproportionate amount of Jewish executives in Hollywood. Like if I was going to get my nails done, I might say there's disproportionate amount of Vietnamese people wearing the nail salons. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know what happened, but they got here and they were like, we're going to do nails. You know what I'm saying?
Black people in the NBA.
Right. Yeah. So why is that? Are we allowed to say that? If I just said that, there's disproportionate amount of Vietnamese people doing nails, nobody would have censored that. If I said there's a disproportionate amount of Spanish people at the border.
Because the people who run the nail shop...
But that won't get censored.
The people who run the nail shop don't run your podcast. That's it. Okay. Now your nails might not get done the same way as before.
They're going to be like, she's blowing up the industry that we're at. But that's true. And I think...
That's why I say Jewish people have bought the Black voice.
And that's what you meant by it, is that they're disproportionately represented in media. And so if something that you say is something that they don't like...
Shout out Don De Niro for the sub. Appreciate y'all. Smash them likes. If you're not subbed up to the channel already, please sub up. Salute to all my gangers. Caution signs and bowling pins in the chat on ALB, gang.
They won't allow you to have it said. That's what you meant. That's getting more specific.
Okay. it's more specific, but my emotion about it as a human being, as a leader, as a leader, I operate at every medium, from the most brash and brutal to medium and understandable to highly sophisticated. We have to operate in all those. My feeling and my emotion, because I am a human being, I'm not a robot. So if you take a woman can be scarred by men just off of one bad experience with a man. Perhaps it might be a 6-year-old girl that has an experience she shouldn't have had with an uncle. And that woman ends up being a stripper or, disliking men. So imagine if that woman had that experience with 10 men, right? So I can tell you I've had 10 bad experiences with Jewish execs and these are the Jewish people I come in contact with. So if that woman had that experience with 10 men, she may say this term, men are all the same. She could sing it, she could say it. And imagine if she was just like beautiful, like if she had like the face of Irina Shayk or the body of Candace Owens or the body of Kim or something like that, right?
Who the fuck is Candace Waterpool? Y'all put me on because I don't know who that is. He just named her like like that was Naomi Campbell or something. Who the fuck is that?
This person was just kind of stood back, or say it's like Halle Berry or something. Like if they just stepped back and were a bit timid to give a number out, and somebody says she hates men. What do you mean, all men? And would men do a whole series of 80 outline things calling she's anti-manetic? Is she anti-manetic because of her experiences? And she allowed to have the emotion that because of her experience, now she hates, now she dislikes. I'm going to say dislikes because it's considered to be hate speech. Like, yes, I'm at a place where I'm like, I'm not going to talk specifically to Jewish businessmen, because the Jewish businessmen are the ones who have done the things to me, to hurt me and to hurt my friends, right? So now I'm talking to Jewish businessmen's families. That's why I said the Jewish people, because I'm calling the Jewish people to talk to the Jewish businessman family and say, are you doing fair deals? Or with your version of the boys club, right? This isn't the Catholic Protestant boys club. This is people that have been through pain and rose to success. The Jewish business community. I need their families, their dads, grandparents, wives, children, to ask them, are you doing fair deals by God? Because yes, we do have Zionist Jews and
oh yeah, we do got the website up right now. We still working on it, but we do got the website up where I'm gonna have exclusive content, all that, controversial discussions and things like that, because we can't do that on YouTube. They'll block you, they'll get you out of here. That's what I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? So definitely go to gvnglvndniem.com, become a member so you can get that premium grade A.
Have godly, take Friday and Saturday off Jews, right? Jewish people. And as Jay, in my position, I'm one of the darker Jews, Black people's most loved by Jewish people, Blacks, period. Like for 20 years. So that's the reason why God put me in this position. I have to word it the right way, but with 2024, coming 2 years from now, whoever ends up into office by 2024 has to bring the country together. There's no more of this divide. So that means the funny thing about the Jewish media is I have their attention. They love me. They always love me. I have their attention.
Now you're referring to media executives. So
executives, yeah.
Yeah, so TMZ is owned by Harvard, and that's one Hollywood publication that would be writing about you all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So
Harvey Levin. It's
Harvey,
Jewish.
my name is Jay. It's not Kanye West. I take it like you calling Caitlin Bruce. Like my
Good question, Kumar.
name is Jay. Like, so those little things. Also refer to me as billionaire. Christian billionaire Ye. Matter of fact, I may legally change my name to Christian billionaire Ye. So you'll be forced to call me Christian billionaire Ye. So
CBY is fire.
Since my name is Ye, I got a lot of room to extend it on the
CBY is fire.
other side. I'm doing a prefix. Wait a second, I had a train of thought that I was getting to.
You were saying the Jewish media, and I just interjected to say you're talking about specific people in media.
But what was I saying about the Jewish media? I don't want to like kind of ramble to find my point again.
Yeah,
It's a really good point. Because even like we're in that
We got the merch going up there slowly too, Burger Lord. Salute to you. Salute to you. We got the merch going up slowly. Believe that.
I'm like a bit sleepy.
Yeah.
It's just that's what made Through the Wire. I'm going to do podcast sleepy from now. When I do Bill Maher 2 days from now, I'm going to go in sleepy. Right? Because I have so much energy as like alien level African king that if you put me in a normal podcast situation with an antagonistic media person, then they can get me to look as animated as they would want me to be on stage or on a basketball court. But in that setting, I have to speak. So now I figured out the code to be as calm as, they would like me to be in these situations. So, but man, I'll get back to it after. Otherwise, we'll have like another conversation where we could find what we were saying.
Yeah. But I just wanted where I want to go back to though. With the two things I want to say. So first off, when I was coming on the plane, my podcast was on shuffle, and Jay-Z song came on. It was dun 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 dun. And he says, "Oh, I know what it was." He says, "I dumbed down my audience to double my dollars. They criticize me for it, yet they all yell holla. If skills sold, truth be told, I'd probably be lyrically, talent, quality. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did 5 mil, and I ain't been rhyming like common sense. When your sense got that much in common, and you've been hustling since, the only perception for perception go with what makes sense. Since I know what I'm up against, we as rappers must decide what's most important, and I can't help the poor if I'm one of them. So I got rich and gave back. To me, that's the win-win. And I was just so stunned. I read it back like 10 times and I forgot.
And I'm going to say this. Shout out to Candace Owens for even knowing that. Straight up. The fuck? Candace Owens just turned me up this morning. The Rock is in the building.
How much I love that song. And I was like, he's literally telling you that he is dumbing himself down, and he has decided that the better thing to do is to keep the people that follow him stupid and be able to help them by giving money. Like, I can't help the poor. Like, I dumbed down my audience to double my dollars. Like, he has to make a decision to be smart, right? To be rapping like telling quality, or to make money and be able to give back to people. So he knows. And this made me think of you, because you said on that podcast that got taken down that information is the number one resource, right? And he knows that he has to choose between giving the people information or having success. And I was stunned by the verse.
And what record label was he on that helped influence that decision? It was a Jewish record label.
Okay, what was it? I don't know. See, I don't know the
Universal, Def Jam.
Yeah, Def Jam. He was definitely
a Jewish and French, because you got Vivendi that owns Universal, but French, that's super colonizers. Like the French own 80% of African banks. So
nobody would be mad if you had tweeted that, by the way.
Oh, the French,
yeah.
But that's because the French don't hyper focus on controlling the black voice like the Jewish media does. So. But this makes me think Drake is the best rapper ever by the numbers. Jay-Z is the greatest rapper ever.
Salute Kumar for that sub. I seen you, gang. I appreciate that. If y'all have not subbed up to the channel already, please sub up now. Smash them likes for me, gang. Please and thank you.
By the inspiration.
Yeah, he inspired me.
There you go.
He was smart. You know what I mean? Like he was talking business, but you either got it or you didn't. He was telling you the code that now I'm being stupid. Like I'm giving you guys stupid stuff because this is how it works. Like in order for me to stay successful, I have to keep giving you stupid stuff.
I just think Yonsei need to let him go get some pussy. Seriously.
What?
Go to the DR or something, like, you know what I mean? Like,
what's that about though? What's that about? Are you good friends with him still? Because you know what's missing from this whole.
I don't know if you're gonna run that line or not.
I'm not. This is going up on Parlor. What do you mean? Are you gonna run it?
Yeah,
that's the bigger question.
I just think like, man, it's like Jay-Z is like the head. You know, we're under the fire, and we're the firefighters. But in order to be a good firefighter,
Salute
you got to be willing
Allen
to run
for
into
the
that
sub.
fire. And that's what makes me the number one firefighter.
For the sub.
That's what makes me Michael.
Matthew and Christopher, thank y'all for the sub. Smash that like, gang. Kumar, thank you again. I appreciate y'all. Sub up to the channel if you have not subbed up already. I drop content over here as well, but we doing a little streaming. You feel me? Smash them likes, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Because I'll run into that fire. Everyone knows that I'll run into that fire for the people in the burning building. Who's the people in the burning building? All of society. Because blacks and rappers are the thought leaders. We're like everyone, people, you know, if you go to a college, people have different majors, but everyone majors in Drake at the college. It's very few people, even if they don't particularly seek to listen to him, everyone in the college knows the song. So that becomes then the information, a part of people's curriculum and DNA of the way we think. And what I've been saying is like the idea of free thought, the White Lives Matter t-shirt. That's an idea. Let's talk about idea separate to that t-shirt. You have the idea for civilization to move forward. What do we do in marches? We marched. And what's marching? Walking, right? In order to walk, what do you need? Both legs in order to walk. How do both legs work? One foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. So watch this. An idea is your left leg, and actualizing, I like it better than execute, like universal positive forward movement language. You actualize with your right leg. You think the idea with your left leg, you actualize, you're moving forward, right? But if you go into a place where there's thought police, they put the innovators into a place of crawling, and our civilization is no longer moving forward. And you can believe it or you cannot. And I can like classify as a black person, this and that, but I'm challenging all the systems one by one, right? That we will be happier. And not only I don't love the word utopia, it seems over the top. Not only find a happier way to live, we will actually survive, because we can't survive by being oppressed, by having our thoughts oppressed and being afraid to say what we feel. Because, hey, you know what? We could feel something for a bit, you know, and then if you get to do it, you can get over it. Like sometimes like a kid can have a chocolate binge and they get the stomach ache and it only happens one time. Or they can go and touch the stove and they get burnt and it only happens one time. Right now, we're not getting the opportunity to touch the stove. If I hadn't went so far, said the word DEFCON, right? DEFCON, then we couldn't have had an open conversation about what Jewish execs are specifically doing. All of the conversation would have been said to be hate speech. Like, how can I hate Jews and I consider myself to be Jew? But then people say, well, you hate black people because you wore White Lives Matter. And now, like I talked to Noriega this morning, he was like, okay.
Salute Brooklyn, NYC. I see you in here, gang. Shout out to you. Raphael Brinkley, I see you, gang. He is on Laughing Gas. We all are.
I realized this. I realized that I really don't feel Prodigy died from choking on an egg.
jumping in right here because at that time, as you can see, both of us were really sleepy. It was very late at night when we were having that discussion, and I hadn't even fully comprehended what he said there when he said that people don't believe that Prodigy choked on an egg. And I had no idea what he was referring to. And I just wanted to let you guys know that there was a rapper named Prodigy who began speaking out about the Illuminati. He basically said, I have this platform and I want to use my platform for good to wake up the masses to what's really going on in society. And so I am going to dig up this old clip of Prodigy right before he mysteriously choked on an egg. And he decided to speak with Alex Jones. Take a listen to what Prodigy had to say.
R.I.P. Prodigy.
Yeah, they're doing all this ritualistic murder and rituals on little, they molesting little kids, doing satanic sex rituals. Like, this stuff is really going on in this world. Like, on 9/11, you know what I mean?
Nigga trying to monetize. You can't say that, Prodigy. R.I.P. Prodigy. Come on, gang. You can't say that.
What they did was they killed 20 birds with one stone. You know what I'm saying? That's how I like to say it. You know what I mean? Because they changed all kinds of laws. They changed all kinds of they changed people's mentality, the way they look at the world. They pulled off one of the biggest ritualistic murders, you know what I mean? That ever happened, you know what I mean? Live for the whole world to see.
So there you have it. That is Prodigy. And like I said, he then mysteriously choked on an egg. Maybe the first person in human history to have choked on an egg in some capacity after speaking out about the Illuminati. Let's jump back into my conversation with Ye.
I really believe in a lot of the things that you're talking about, but we'd rather just accept the pain. Pain is like first thing that drugs that we get, as Black people is like sugar and then pain. And pain because of
Smash them likes, y'all. If this your first time to the channel, please sub up to the channel and smash them likes, please and thank you.
And I know because I have a tendency, to be masochistic. It's part of my superpower, right? Like the ability to Deadpool the pain, to overcome I'm telling you, like a good comment, a bad comment, someone calling you something can change how you feel. People have sent me so many comments about, me standing up about the information with Black Lives Matter and George Floyd that I actually felt happier today. Like today has been my happiest day, right? Because obviously there's, you showed in your documentary that they hired thousands of people to go out in the street and there's a currency for outrage. But there's also really intelligent Black people that are tired of our narrative being forced down, forced to us. I don't want to say down at the because it sounds like pause. So, but our narrative being forced to us for us to take, what happened before with the media is, they would go and get the best and the brightest to represent.
Salute Showstopper in the building. Appreciate that. Salute that sub. Let's see who that was with the sub. Julius George. Salute you, gang. I appreciate that sub. Smash them likes for me, gang.
Black people. And there's been a shift. They don't want there to be another Beyonce. They don't want there to be a Candace. They don't want there to be a Ye. They don't want there to be a Dr. King, a Farrakhan, a Martin Luther King, Michael Jordan, Nat King Cole. They don't want that. They want to say, hey, we're going to take this person that was a drug addict and we're going to replace him. We're going to replace Martin Luther King with a drug addict. We're going to replace my dad, who was a Black Panther, with the Disney version of Black Panthers. And the fact that Virgil passed. No, I don't mean Virgil. I mean George passed. I don't mean George. I mean Chad passed. Now you can't talk about Black Panther, or you can't point out that Black Panther was actually being used to erase my father's legacy and what he fought for as the actual Black Panthers. And also, if you go to this one, I think it's called Maleficent, this other Disney film.
Mm-hmm.
If you look up Moors, there's a black guy with wings on next to Maleficent. But that's not who the Moors were to us. And it's so funny. The first thing I said when I wore the White Lives Matter t-shirt and we were in Paris, I said, you can't un-Google this. But they took the interview down. So they're in the process of slowly un-Googling me. They're in the process, mark my words, they're in the process of un-Googling me.
Shout out my dog Showstopper
and
here, man.
It's a balance. There's like an argument that's happening inside of the Jewish media right now. Like, do we give them the platform? Do we not give them the platform?
Because not giving you the platform is almost proving your point.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have a Jewish executive who makes a decision that you're not allowed to be on the platform, then you go, okay, well, you prove my point, right? Whereas
that's why we're in your house right now. Because they wouldn't let us talk on Daily Wire, specifically for me having the claim, the possibility that the darker Jew known as blacks that came from Africa could possibly be Israelites, that could possibly be Jew.
And I was just to be super open, I was confused by it because I'm like, are we saying that there's no such thing as black Israelis? They live in Israel. So I don't know. Maybe Kanye descends from it. Maybe I descend from it. Who knows, right? So I don't know why I'm making that claim. Like if you got up here right now and you were like, I'm a white male, why would you need to be deplatformed for that? Like, why would that be such a thing that you couldn't say? That I'd be like, oh my God, you're not allowed to say that you're a white male. Like, we cannot have you on the show.
And maybe people, if people could be transgender, why couldn't people be?
Right, that's what I mean. Like, what's the big deal? Let's pretend that you're completely making it up. Why can't you just say that? Like, why is that information, like you thinking that so crazy that it can't be said? You know?
If people could be transgender, why couldn't they be trans race? You can define who you are.
Rachel Dolezal is trans race. She got an OnlyFans. She's not deplatformed. She didn't get her Twitter account taken or Instagram taken. So that's kind of the question that I had. And I also want to ask you, like, going back to your analogy, why run into the burning building, right? When the people inside of it are saying, we don't want help. Because they're so convinced that it's not a burning building. Right? So you either have the Jay-Z perspective where it's like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send some firefighters to try to throw some water on it. Is your perspective is like, I'm going to run in the building, rescue as many people as I can, and I might kill myself in the process, right? Why not do what Jay-Z's doing? Get to the top, know how it works, and just say, well, I'll do a little charity here in Zimbabwe, and it is what it is.
Yeah, because just enough isn't enough. Like God calls us, and I believe God's going to call them too, because they're dealing with it even in their positions. You know, they don't, like I said, they don't want another, the media doesn't want another Beyonce. They want to go and take.
They launched the BLM movement with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Don't forget the Trayvon Martin BLM thing. That was them marching in the streets in Brooklyn. Somebody want to correct me? Brooklyn, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they launched that movement.
I can't say that. I can't say that they always, make the right decisions and stuff. They lost one of their best decision makers, being me. Yeah, like I kind of, went into, Calabasas for a little bit.
Shout out KS the Wise.
Blew it up.
Shout out KS the Wise for the sub. I appreciate y'all. Keep smashing them likes. I'm trying to get to 100 likes. Once I get to 100, let's get to 200. Smash them likes. If you're not subbed up to the channel already, please sub up. Appreciate y'all.
Right? We got this person getting people out of jail, making billions of dollars, cultural influence, all this stuff.
This a early morning stream, y'all. I got up early to do this with y'all. Lou from the Lou. That's my dog. You hear me? Shout out to you, my dude. Thank you for tapping in. Thank y'all for kicking it with your boy this morning. Smash them likes for me. Marley Fuller, thank you for that sub. Anybody else who has not subbed up already, smash that sub for me, gang. Please and thank you.
And, God has called me to move around. Interesting, so I'm at the BLM premiere and the the death of the BLM, the scam aspect of BLM. Now, I want to say this may get picked up or not, that I felt when I saw Kamala was running for office and they showed this picture of her as a child, I saw my mother in that picture. I wanted to vote for her. I almost forgot I was running. I was like, oh, right? And so when I see the George Floyd video, the way they capture it, the way it sounds, it hits me right in a place. It's like you completely forget that the guy is on drugs. You completely forget all these different things. And it just hits me as a Black person. I put that label, the label I've been given that I've grown up with. And I understand why it hurts. And I understand why it worked for a moment. But now we're in a place where we have to dispel the trauma and move forward. It feels like all Black people own are trauma, the word and braids. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody get braids. You better not get braids type. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then
that nigga not lying.
Appropriation. It's ours. Yeah.
But where's our land of
Young AD, what it do? Salute to everybody who entering in the chat right now. Smash that like if this your first time here. Smash that sub if it's your first time here, please and thank you. Salute the chat.
appropriation? Where's our, company appropriation? Where's our brand appropriation? We're the walking billboards for Louis Vuitton and Balenciaga. It was interesting, just the shift, the tectonic plate shift of me closing the Balenciaga, opening the Balenciaga show, and everyone, from the culture, Black people, white people, they were all into the idea that because I was ruffling some feathers, it was right on the line of, is it too far, right? And then I opened up the Balenciaga show and people were just like, what? And it felt good. It felt awesome. And then I put up a picture and under I said war, but little did they know that I meant war. And then the next day I do a fashion show that's purposely sabotaged. Like people, this is like rumors of Catholic priests, levels, sabotage. They went and took the, I don't want to word it like that because that could be taken misconstrued. I say they sabotaged the season 9 show. They went and took the microphones off of the children's choir to make sure that we started late. That was just one of...
Yeah, I was there when you were like yelling, like you were upset about that. I remember they're saying like the mics are off the kids, supposed to be starting.
And that was one of a...
God don't like ugly. Facts, showstopper. You can't hide that ugly behind anything. Let's just be real.
1,000 things. Even the lady that was, there is now she's leaving the school. She'll no longer be principal, moving forward. So that was just an example. It was like, here's the shift. And it started there. And it gave the opportunity for the speech. And it said, hey, I'm the leader. You will not un-Google this. And they caught the picture of the t-shirt and it said, White Lives Matter on it. And all hell broke loose. But when hell breaks loose, we have an opportunity for heaven to come through and for God to use us. And that's what's happening. I mean, that thing was like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. That happened.
It's crazy.
It seems like a lifetime ago.
Literally, I'm 80 years old as I sit in this chair.
See, you aging in Obama years.
I'm aging in Obama years. I'm about to walk out of this and just have white hair. I was just like, I got to a moment where I was just like, wow, how did a t-shirt do this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what? They're angry is because, in my perspective, it was like we wore the t-shirt. And then they did their usual media attacks. And usually they're up against people that they can break. Right? So
Kobe's PC Chronicles, that just means, bro, don't do anything stupid or I'll talk about you. You know what I'm saying? That's just what that means. Salute to you, though. Smash that like for anybody in here who haven't done it already. Sub up to the channel if this your first time here, please and thank you. Salute the chat.
They needed me to post the statement that's like, you know, I'm getting my distance from Ye, and I've realized that he's made some mistakes, so that he's off his meds and he's crazy, and I hope he gets the help he needs, right? I didn't do that. So
That's
they
what Chris
doubled
Cuomo
the
did,
tax, right?
Yeah.
So now they're going after my family. Like, they edited this photo, this video of me and you, I didn't even tell you this, on the red carpet at my premiere to make it look like we were in a relationship. And this starts going viral. Meanwhile, you know, my husband's 10 feet away. He just doesn't do cameras, right? So they're doing, I mean, from every single angle, just trying to see if they can break you and I having any type of a relationship, which is fascinating to me because the same thing happened last time. And that was like the whole Blexit thing. Except you took the bait that time. And then
and never that's my never again. Like I say, Kamala's our never again, because you are what Black people wanted Kamala to be. You're exactly. So thank you very much, media, for prepping the culture to be able to see what we really need. And I mean, it's just such a godsend. It's just hitting me right now that we absorbed this platform, and you know what we're going to be able to do with it. Right. It's incredible.
The question that I wanted to ask you on the phone, do you believe that you have bipolar? Who told you were bipolar? And when were you told that, in 2015?
I was told that by a Jewish doctor, and the information was put out by a Jewish Hollywood trainer to the Jewish media. So, and that actually the day when they put me in the hospital, I had started reading the Bible really heavy and rewriting Bible verses. And when the Jewish trainer saw, and you're like looking like, well, that sounds pretty bipolar. But the Jewish trainer saw that, put me in the hospital, and then said, and then put it in the press. And
the press being TMZ broke it, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I was in the hospital, right? And
why were you in the hospital?
Exhaustion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't sleep much. I mean, we don't sleep much.
I actually do sleep a lot. It's my favorite thing. Yeah. I say that's Trump said, I'm sure you don't sleep much, but I do. I sleep like 6 hours, 7 hours. Anytime I disagree with the norm, people say, well, are you getting sleep? They're so concerned about my health. And
because
it's like,
then as soon as you put out that you have a mental illness, it becomes this thing where they can just stigmatize everything you do.
Everything, they can discredit it, but what happens when, you know, everyone's wearing Yeezys, or what happens when, you know, we change a color palette or a shape of something, the shape of a shoe, the shape of something in apparel? What happens when we change the look of homes? What happens when we simplify the way we think and the way we communicate? You know, then, you know, who needs sleep? And you take something like Moses. I always tell people Moses was on speed and he stuttered, or ketadin, or whatever they called it, whatever that would have been, the biblical version of that. But God had something for him to do. And this is a God's dream, right? This is something for me to do. And God is on our side. It's God's time. This is why we're on this platform. This is why God provided. How is it that, you know, God told me, go to Nashville right now. And, you know, Kid Rock, he was leaving out of town. If Kid Rock had been in town, I would have went by his house to hang out and go to the studio. But because he was out of town, when you landed, we were here, and they were telling you as you were landing that I was not allowed on the Daily Wire. And that's God guiding our path. That's how the video game of life works.
Interrupting briefly here to speak to you if you are somebody that feels that you are taking a step back every month instead of moving forward. When the bills are higher than ever, what you bring in every month feels like it just instantly leaves when you have to swipe that credit card to cover the difference, and the debt just keeps adding up. But if you own a home, my friends at American Financing can help you. You can break free from that cycle. American Financing is saving people just like you an average of $854 a month. Think about what you could do with an extra $800 every month.
So it's that mix of those that we got to look at all the talent on the planet and bring them into the American companies. The American companies are the super forces. I mean, that's PayPal, McDonald's, Amazon, Google, Apple. It's like, and now, you know, what Yeezy is slated to become, because Yeezy's got one of the two most compelling founders living. You know, the other one is Elon. So that's us. It's like Yalon to save the world. Yelon or Yalon, or however you want to word. I saw that.
Shout out my brother Mickey Monday in the chat. Please smash them likes, y'all. Smash them likes. I need them likes going up, please, and thank you.
Actually up today. It's for us to, you know, come together. What's so good is like Elon actually, he illegally can't become president. So that means that at a certain point, like I have to be president, you know, and to empower. It's like it's crazy. Like the current the Biden administration. So the current Biden administration won't even talk to Elon. Won't even speak to Elon. Like, wait, what?
What? Because he's not staying in line. And that's the thing, is like, I feel like they say that to everybody. And I get being called crazy when you're not crazy will drive you crazy, right? I was being driven crazy by the fact that every time they picked up an article, they just kept, like, this is what I called you. I'm like, they just keep calling him crazy. And with Elon, it's like different attacks, but it's consistently saying stuff that isn't true. And then you have everybody else, like the masses, repeating stuff that isn't true. You know what I mean? And I just don't understand why I get frustrated. It's like, how much more success can you have before they stop?
Right. But that shows you they won't, because the success that will happen is, this is the success, having our own platform. It's not up to Twitter. I mean, now it's still on Apple currently, you know, it's still on Apple and it's still under the satellites. So there's a bit more freedom. We're just at a different level of the video game. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's still some mountains to climb. What I'm really big on, I want to talk about is in our Sleepy Cast, and I'm gonna go get some sleep. Is, well, I touched on it before. Maybe we can cut this to work together, but to bring people together. The left, we always talk about the left and right. Well, we're one body. We have a left and right. So we're really big. Like right now, the left is fighting against the right. And that's like, if I was going like this, my left hand and my right hand, we have to fight together for our species, for humanity, because the right has some great things and the left have some great things also. Like the left is really good at media, you know, so, and the left is not, they're not happy with the.
Shout out to Ye for being clever. That nigga said the left is good at media. Like, y'all probably don't understand what he's saying there. I understand what he's saying.
And we have an opportunity to really win the hearts of the left also. You know, it's not, I'm really big on, like when I made Stronger, Nicole Scherzinger from Pussycat Dolls was dancing to it up and down Record Plant Studio. But then when I played it for Ice Pick, it was one of the executives at Rough Riders, that's rest in peace, passed away. When he heard it, he put his nose up, like he said, the whole thing sound like that? And he wasn't into it. So I had this challenge of making Stronger, which is now Diamond, it's my biggest song of all time. It's a Diamond record, be able to play on Hot 97, Rhyme Ready. I I knew it was going to play on B96, but which is a white pop station, but how does it play on Hot 97, which was like ran by Jay-Z, and not ran by him, but he was the most common voice on it at that time. And that's the thing, to be able to, there is a way to appeal to both sides and find that place of happiness. There's things where like Trump and Biden had a lot of places where they aligned when I looked at their policies. So I'm really interested in really bringing happiness back to the world, bringing joy back to the world. But we have to call people on what they're doing for there to be happiness in the world. We can't just say, oh, it's okay for people to like super complicate deals and to collude on deals and to not look at us as human beings, as artists and athletes and actors, that we have to be willing to like stand up for that to be able to change something. And we need to come together as a society to be the first civilization that actually became civil, to stop war. Like people, it's a possibility of having
syphilis,
a warless world where the human species is not at war with each other, but we are more sophisticated because of social media, because of the information.
Check it out, TV. What that do, gang? What it do? Top of the top to my good people. I see y'all in here. Shout out to all my good people. If this your first time to the channel, please sub up right now. We got good content. I'll be live streaming, got content going up as well. If this your first time, please sub up, smash them likes for me, gang. I should have way more likes
that we have now. And we got to have people like us and God using us to push that to the next side. And we got to get control of our country. We have to get control of our family. And right now there has been an agenda in the media and in politics to remove God, remove the family, and to remove our country from us. So it's time for us to take control again. And God's on our side. So that's what's going to happen. I've got faith in that, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
There it is.
Yeah. That was like presidential towards the end.
Right?
We could put some music. What kind of music you want to put with that?
I'm proud to be in America.
Yeah. It needs something like that.
Reek Money, salute gang, salute gang. Shout out you, Showstopper. Shout out all my good people in here. Shout out to the new people I got in here as well. If you're new to the channel, please sub up, smash them likes. I need to get to 100 likes. I think we had like 60 something. That's unacceptable. We about to finish this out, and then we about to get into that Nipsey, that Blacc Sam interview. You know what I'm saying? We running it up. You got damn right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute all my good people. Reek Money, I see you. Christoph Metcalf, all my people in here. Shout out my cousin Dre. I love her so much. Y'all shout out Dre in the chat. Show her love. But yeah, we're gonna get into that Blacc Sam interview next, y'all.
Because I think about my boy Mike Howe. This is the guys that told me to go speak on Fox on the Gap when they were like making it look really bad on the floor, and that's what started it. And now then it's like boom, MSNBC, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And we just keep on speaking up. And this, I feel like there's stuff that we did tonight. Do you want to do any other things that you want to put in, just because we can do?
Yeah. I'll move everything. I mean, I had a list of things that I wanted to talk to you about.
I mean, we got more to go. We should do one of these a week.
That's what I'm saying. We should just start doing this once a week. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Look at Candace try to bleed yay for the podcast. We should do these once a week. We should do one of these once a week. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I want to talk to you like another podcast about like the war on men. I want to talk to you about drinking.
Yeah, think about Drink Champs.
Do you want to hear something? Yeah, but you want to hear something like? Did you know the word alcohol?
It's from the spirit of Kool-Aid.
Yes,
absolutely.
You knew that?
Yeah,
I believe that.
It
literally, kills your spirit and allows demons to come in. You know what I mean?
I know y'all probably not familiar with none of that, but I believe that too. Straight up. That's why I fuck with the alcohol.
and take over. Like, I 100% believe that.
I can say this since this is our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely was drinking when I put up the DEF CON tree. I definitely, I had, who's I want to say alcohol I had inside me, but I don't know. Hennessy.
Wow, it's interesting.
Hennessy. It turns us gray. And literally the demons
Just come in. Yeah, no, I was fascinated when I learned that, the history of that. And it's literally because when you drink, you become a different person. It's almost literally like a spirit has taken over you. That's why they call them spirits. Did you know that? That's why they call them spirits.
Yes, absolutely.
That's crazy. How come we didn't put that information out earlier that you were drinking? Nobody asked.
Well, no, because I didn't want to discredit.
Oh, here we go. They'll be like,
So that nigga was drunk with the DEF CON tweet. He was drunk off that akule.
oh, now every time he tweets, he's drunk,
Yeah. Because it keeps on like taking away
Yeah.
the fact of what I was like saying or what I was about to do. And also sometimes the truth comes through because it's another way to discredit, right? This thing right here, we've got some stuff in it. The temperament of it, the lighting, the feel, the two people that are here doing it. Because we've been waiting for this one. This is the one. And this is the one that needs to be on Parler as the first Godcast, as the Sleepy Cast, the Dreamcast. Dreamcast. I used to like that. It was like Sega had a Dreamcast.
Yeah, I know. I used to play on it. Sonic.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Sonic too.
Sonic is just a bomb game. That and Donkey Kong on Nintendo.
You know what?
Donkey Kong and Nintendo was like another level. The old school one, you had to like put the...
Yeah. I like to talk and play video games because a lot of times the podcast is very like, you can't do something at
That
the
was
same
too
time.
complicated. Xbox ruined everything.
Yeah.
Just too many buttons.
That's what I'm saying. We need to go and play. I mean, you made like the newer, like the Nintendo Switch has a Sonic that I used to meditate in this during COVID, during the during this pandemic, during the pandemic.
You used to meditate to Sega? What are you saying?
I used to meditate in video games. And it's funny, I would watch like Wally over and over and over and over. And I had a cousin that just reads a lot. And they were like...
I got a husband that reads a lot.
Oh, yeah. And he was just so mad at me that I just kept on watching the same movies over and over. But if I like a movie, like I'm watching Northman right now, it's about these Viking slaves that overcome things. And it's... I don't know what God's plan is for me. A Norseman, they fight to the death. But I'm willing, to give my life for what God calls me to do.
Shout out
but
to
I think
the
it'd
chat.
be cool to have a podcast where we're playing video games on a really big screen and then we're just talking. I also feel like, my kids like to watch people.
Yay, that's literally what everyone does. Everyone plays video games on a big screen and just talks. I wasn't too genius, gang.
Play video games.
That's the weirdest thing ever to me.
Yeah.
That's a whole culture. Your brother's like that. You do the same thing? I'm like, this is weirdo.
Watch your lives.
Watch it. So if we're playing video games, that's actually going to pull it. Imagine being able to even attract the entire video game community as voters.
Right. Attract them onto Parler too. But it's true. Yeah, they like...
Did Kanye West just predict the future? Again, y'all remember this was in 2022. Did Kanye West predict what literally just happened? They trying to get Kamala on Kai's stream. They just had Aiden do the shit with Trump. Did Kanye just call that right now? I'm going to run that back. I don't know if y'all really paying attention. Imagine how big that would be. We've never seen this before. Remember, up until Aiden Ross sat with bro, we didn't see nothing like this. No streamers. We didn't see nothing like this. And academics, but academics don't play video games online anymore. Pay attention, y'all.
Weirdo.
Watch your lives.
Watch it. So if we're playing video games, that's actually going to pull it. Imagine being able to even attract the entire video game community as voters.
Right. Attract them onto Parler too. But it's true. Yeah, they like me, by the way. The gamers love Candace Owens. I stood up for them with the BS. The original Me Too was Gamergate, but that's a way deeper, lower like thing that people can't even talk about. The gamers get what I just said with that, but that was the original Me Too, and that's what brought me to my awakening. So I like the gamer community, but the only thing is like, what game would we play? That's a serious question.
Life, the game of life.
No. It has to be like a good video game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be one of the old ones. Like it has to be like Donkey Kong or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to play freaking Grand Theft Auto. I see that's what you want to play.
I'm not big Grand Theft. I mean, life is Grand Theft Auto. I'm not. We're in Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
That's the closest to the simulation.
Facts. We are in Grand Theft Auto. Y'all see that nigga who just got locked up? That nigga was on the run from the police, choppers in the air. He was from 40s. On the run, police, choppers in the air. Baby and baby mama in the back seat. That shit was GTA, son.
Of our life, that and the Bible itself. If you think it's like simulation theory in the Bible itself, it's like, okay, if you pick your character, you're gonna make the character in your image.
Yeah.
That's how the Bible starts.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. So I'm just envisioning where this Godcast or this Sleepycast or this Dreamcast can go. You know, I'm like ideating and envisioning the next frontier of where this is, but I'm just overwhelmed by what, you know, God has done for me today. I'm happier than I've ever been.
All right, guys, so there you have it. So many thoughts probably racing through your head. It's kind of a weird thing.
So we don't want to hear her no more, but this is the thing. She's probably got another piece of this interview because that stopped mid-thought, and I like this. We're going to be back with that one, too. Don't worry about anything. Don't worry about anything. But we about to get into this Blacc Sam interview, man. Golly, you know what I'm saying? Golly, y'all. R.I.P. Nip, y'all. I didn't like this, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. But let's get into this, y'all. Smash that like. If you're new to the channel, sub up. I got good content going up. I do videos as well, but I'm doing like vertical streaming now too. You know what I'm saying? So please sub up to the channel if this is your first time here. If you just popped in, smash that like for me. Smash that like. Shout out to the gang. ALB, Angel Lane, Bowling Brigade. I see my good people out there. Salute y'all.
Flipping quarters, shooting free throws for dollars, buy all the 25-cent bags of hot Cheetos, fill the backpack up, go to school selling for 50 cents. Once we got to a certain age, it was like we were twins. A lot of the things that I got into or opportunities that I seen was from my bro, from little bro. Like, you know, he stole computer parts and then he bring it in the bedroom. We share the bedroom. I'm like, man, get this junk out of here. I'm building a computer. I like, bro, shut the fuck up. You building a computer. He came back, I think, one day from high school with like $300. He was certified gifted as a little kid. Anybody that was around him, his charisma, he always stood out. People always were like, nah, this guy is special. When he got out of high school, we was able to just really get to it and adapt. And my brother had put me on a CD game, and it just, you know, took off. Like, all right, I'm trying to peel a million out of this. But eventually somebody probably called in or did something where they start investigating. I'm like, all right, took everything out the house, buried the bread, buried probably like 250
in cash.
Yep. The foundation of what we doing, it doesn't last when you're doing anything illegal or you're on the street. So Hustle was like, no, this is what we gonna do. This clothing gonna be big. It's gonna be one of the biggest things we do. Watch. When I first heard him write something, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you wrote this? He like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, this is special. Anytime Nip would pull up, it's like Michael Jackson pulled up in the hood.
Gotcha.
So many people from the neighborhood was inspired. Somebody came, said one disrespectful thing, Hustle, take his chains off, squabbling. Mandatory respect. And at the same time, leading by example, I always felt that God was protecting, and basically we felt like nothing could happen.
Oh, these y'all over here?
Yeah, so this section at the top, it's all us. As far as fulfillment, this whole area is Marathon's area.
Oh, man. Hey, man, you know what's crazy about this right here? Is the people that work here, they probably got a gang of shirts at the house.
Oh, yeah. For sure. You see them walking around with a Marathon shirt like, nah, it's good.
You're like, oh, y'all taking inventory and shit?
Right.
All right, now. This is a very special off air for me, bro.
we've done many, but this is like one that's real, extremely personal to me.
Salute Bernard K. Appreciate you for that sub. Appreciate you for that sub. If you just popping in here, smash that like for me. If this your first time to the channel, sub up to the channel. Salute the gang. I see everybody in here. Smash them links that y'all see as well. Salute my cousin Dre in here doing her thing. You feel me? R.I.P. Nip the Great for sure. This nigga Blacc Sam reminds me of Nip so much. It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all.
And sitting down with you, Sam, bro, like for one, first of all, I got to thank you for your time, because I know this is not what you do. You know what I'm saying? And we had a chance, you know, just off the phone, right, out of the limelight, man. You know, we have great conversations,
100%.
And we treat each other as men and as human beings, bro. So I know that your time is very precious. So thank you for allowing me to come down here and sit with you, bro.
100%, man. I appreciate you, you know, thinking to have me on the show, man. 100%.
I appreciate it, man.
You know.
Sam, were you born in LA, raised?
It's LA love too. Somebody should have had Blacc Sam on their platform just to talk about everything they got going on. Even at Nipsey Square down there, you know what I'm saying, to the factory, everything, bro. He should have been on somebody's Los Angeles platform. Straight up.
In LA, what's the background for Brother Sam?
Yeah, born here, LA. My pops is from Africa.
Yes, sir.
I think he came to New York when he was 17. And then I think he came to LA when he was like maybe 20, 21.
What was it like just like growing up, man? Because you know, there's a lot of things that's in the household, you know what I'm saying? And plus with, you know, the family being extremely rooted, what was it like growing up for you though?
Growing up was good. You know, moms and pops was together a couple years and then split. So for me and bro, we was really, our whole childhood was probably with moms at a granny house.
Okay.
And then pops, you know, on the weekends or every other weekend. So childhood was good. It was tight-knit with my grandma, my grandfather on my mother's side, and my mom, you know, my uncle. Yeah, just.
So it was good, like what we call real family structure.
You know, 100%.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So with good family structure, man, was there always music kind of in the household, or?
Yeah.
And if it was, you know, what kind of music?
Yeah, 100% oldies. You know, Al Green, Marvin Gaye, you know. Couple years and then split. So for me and bro, we was really, our whole childhood was probably with moms at a granny house.
Okay.
And then pops, you know, on the weekends or every other weekend. So childhood was good. It was tight-knit with my grandma, my grandfather on my mother's side, and my mom, you know, my uncle. Yeah, just.
So it was good, like what we call.
Salute the chat. Smash them likes. Smash them likes. Shout out to the real YouTube plug in the building, my dog Grams. Salute, gang. Y'all go sub up to my boy channel. He got good content over there, you feel me? Salute everybody who just joined the chat. Salute.
Real family structure.
No, 100%.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So with good family structure, man, was there always music kind of in the household, or?
Yeah.
And if it was, you know, what kind of music?
Yeah, 100% oldies. You know, Grandma, Al Green, Marvin Gaye, you know. My mom, 94.7 the wave.
Yes, sir.
100%.
Now, Sam, are you the oldest when it comes to brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
All righty. And what's the breakdown?
I'm about, 82. I'm 3 years older than my brother. And my sister, I'm like, maybe like 10.
10
believe
years.
10 years older, yeah.
Was it, and just in the household, because like we grew up, man, it was 7 of us as far as kids. Single parent though. My mom took care of us. But, we did everything in house. We didn't have 5,000 channels.
Right.
We didn't have money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Was it kind of the same with you guys, just kind of in the household where you understood the family dynamic and were y'all always tight with each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I think me and my brother, we used to sleep in the living room with my mom's.
Yeah.
In the same bed at my grandma's house. Like, we didn't have a room. So we was tight-knit, moms on it, working, making sure. And then she saved up some money and bought a house like maybe 2 blocks down. A couple more than 2 blocks on 60th Street, but really like 5 minutes drive from my grandma's house. So when she moved out into her house, then it was me, my mom, and my brother.
Right.
And then she had my sister. And then so now we in the household, it's a little more struggle because it's mom's got bills and doing things on her own. But yeah, we had to make do.
How old are you around that time?
I think I may have been I was in the 5th grade.
Hey man, 5th grade, about 10 years of age, man. At that time, do you notice the struggle?
Probably not at that time, but when we moved over there, and then, it's moms on their own, we start noticing it. Because it's, you go into high school.
Yeah, man.
You go into junior high, 6th grade, and then now you want the new Jordans, you want you seeing everybody else, what they have, and so that's probably right around the time where you start realizing, like, oh, okay.
We don't have it.
Right.
Yeah, man. Did you always know that you wanted to get it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, early on, huh?
100%. We was young, 6th grade, flipping quarters, shooting free throws for dollars.
Yeah, so that hustle had always been in your kind of in your bloodline.
Yeah, 100%. I think my mom, was always trying to look and put us in a positive situation. So she had found like a magnet school. A medical magnet. It happened to be in Watts. So she telling me it's a medical magnet. So I'm going out there thinking it's a medical magnet. It was like 10% of the school was medical magnet.
Right,
the other
right.
90 was, the public school. So it was in Markham Middle School.
Yeah.
So,
So were you in the magnet program, or she told you that there's a magnet school?
She said it's a magnet school, but I'm in the magnet program.
Right. Okay.
At the school.
So had you been studious growing up?
Yeah, I was going to school earlier, probably. My mom was working at Kaiser Permanente. So I was going to school. I was going to one of the schools by...
Which one, on La Cienega, or which Kaiser was she there?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I believe so. And then so I was going to school, what's it called? Carthay Center.
Okay.
It's over there. So the change from there, from 5th to Markham, 6th, we had to learn pretty quick, but it was good, learning, hustling.
Yeah, man.
Making sure if we wanted the kicks, we got them. Hustle came to the same school also, so that was like the grounds to make sure that we kind of knew how to get what we needed.
Early on, could you see the responsibility of being the oldest sibling early on?
Yep.
And what did that consist of?
I think just trying to make sure that you lead by example, and then also probably being overprotective. You know what I'm saying? But once we got to a certain age, it was like we were twins, damn near. Like, when you get to a certain age, it's like he dealing with the same things I'm dealing with. It's not like older or younger. It's like we on the same level. He going, sharpen my steel, and I'm gonna try to sharpen also. So
you and Nip had always been extremely close?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Same with like me and my brother Mouse, man. We were, I mean, if you saw one, you saw the other.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot that I learned.
These niggas move different too. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is what I mean. This is how respectable men move. You won't hear no conversations with this nigga saying nothing recorded. You feel me? You're not gonna hear this man talk about no hood politics nowhere on no camera to y'all. You know what I'm saying? This man moves respectfully. You guys don't know what he's doing. You don't know what he's doing. That's how Nip was too, bro. This is crazy. Just watching this man up here is wild, man. R.I.P. Nip.
From my older brothers, like Keith was my brother that really introduced me to music. Like looking at notes and looking at credits and listening to certain sounds and not knowing that I was paying a tuition into the School of Experience for the profession that I'm in now, with loving music, knowing how to talk, knowing how to go beyond what I'm listening to. So that was like kind of almost like a finishing school for me. Early on, did you know, and when you look back now, did you know that you were paying a lot of tuition into the School of Experience with, you know, flipping quarters and making dollar shots and things of that nature?
Yeah, I think, you know, when we was going through it, definitely not. But I think in hindsight, we both kind of appreciated that we had to kind of like figure it out on our own. And, you know, we gained that edge young. So, you know, when we was in high school and then got out of high school, we was able to just really get to it and adapt in a way that a lot of our friends that had were not able to. So definitely, in hindsight, you know, we always appreciate the struggle.
Man, tell me about like when you guys do kind of go back home and see where Pops is from. What was that journey like, and about how old are you around that time?
Yeah, I think that was 2004, so for me, I want to say maybe like I'm 22, and Hussle was probably 19.
Did you want to make that trip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. You know, the backstory, my father was, you know, always telling us, like, I'm going to take you guys home. So it was always in our head, but, you know, due to circumstances, we never ended up making it out there. And at this point, I'm on the run.
Right.
Or, you know, I'm feeling like I need to get out. I had a couple dollars. And so shit hit the fan a little bit. I'm like, I need to get low. I immediately just popped in my head like, all right, this the perfect time.
This is it.
Yep. So I hit Pops like, hey, Pops, get the tickets.
Right.
Right now.
Hey, man, and when you say you're on the run, man, like, I want to talk about also like neighborhood Sam, you know, the hustle part of you as well, because you know how they say, man, I'm my brother's keeper. That was you, right? Early on. I think I was just, you know, honestly speaking, man, I just tried to do my part. Hustle, you know, really a lot of the things that I got into or opportunities that I seen was from my bro. Right. From little bro. Like, you know, he was always, you know, he was sharp and he always seen opportunity. So we was always hustlers, but he would always come up with it and we'd be like, and then he'll put me on it. And then I just try to take it to my level that I could take it to, and him also. So we was both, you know, we was both doing our thing. And I think for me, it was just, how can I add value? And, you know, to speak on what you're talking about, music, he always had a love for music since he was young. And, you know, we would have money, he would just go and spend it all on, you know, Source magazines and this and buying CDs. And I'm like, bro, save your money. But that was his passion. And moving forward, when we get older, you know, when you don't have, you want to get money and you want to get to it. But it come to a point when you getting money, what's the next level? Yeah. And, you know, what do you do with it? And I think he had the vision and he was like, look, this is what we're going to do. You know, this is what I'm doing. This is what I started. You know, this is the label. He had the books. You know, Master P did it like this. This is how we gonna take what we doing in the streets, and so that really gave me the direction to like have something to go to. But you had already been doing your thing, but kind of away from music. Yeah. And not to dime anything out, but that, because I know that it was like the bootleg CDs, and you know, and so was that a great hustle for you as well? Yeah, 100%. I think at that point for me it was like the new dope game. Yeah. It was new. Nobody was doing it. The profit margin on it was like shocking. Couldn't believe it. So Sam, what was it? It was CDs, DVDs. Yep. CDs, DVDs. You know how people run into, the barber shop,
Right,
somebody
right.
selling something?
Right.
Was that probably something, but you were doing mass distribution?
Yeah, I think it started off just hustling. I used to work at a restaurant called the Bayou Grill in Inglewood, and I was right there cooking, and then I was at the counter. So I was the young dude. My brother worked there with me too. I was the young dude at the counter that would, all the hustlers, all the niggas selling dope, everybody would come through and they would see me back there, tighten me up, give me some game. I would observe a lot. So anybody coming through the Bayou Grill that had anything for sale, I was the dude behind the counter with a wad of money buying it. So from anything, not to be speaking like that, but niggas that had pounds and had this and had that, I'm buying it and trying to flip it at the spot, and the chip phones, the phones at that time that was going, how many you got? 15, give them to me. And then I have them. And so I was hustling there. And my brother had put me on the CD game. So I had the CDs there and I had whatever I could have there. And eventually one of the guys in there came in and had the DVDs. That's right when the DVD burner came out.
Right.
I think the DVD burner was like $700 for one burner. And so he had the DVDs and people was just transitioning from VHSs. Really nobody had DVDs in their household. So he kind of put me up on what it was, and he's selling them for $20 and he's making them for $1.
Oh,
and so I'm like, all
so
right.
you're looking at that profit margin like, shoot, it's better than any other game right now.
100%. And that's how I got into that. And then it just, took off like crazy. I used to be, I had a spot on my off days. I used to be making $800-900 a day. Then people
Were you still trying to keep the job?
Yeah, I was still working. That was my sister Pop's restaurant. So, and I was kind of like one of the main ones in there. I felt like keeping it, keeping it afloat. So I didn't just want to. But it came to a point where it was too much going on, too much traffic.
Right.
Because everybody would be hitting me on my off, like, where you at? I'm like, pull up, And so I'm in the back. And they end up, telling me like, hey, you can't be doing this up here.
All these customers, nobody eating.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I used to like, buy something, So I end up having to part ways and just full time, 7 days a week.
And then you going, even more so.
1,500, 2,500, 3,500 a day, 7 days a week, nonstop, all day long. Then I had people buying wholesale from me. I used to be at this Vines parking lot in Inglewood. I used to have a line looking like a McDonald's line. People I'm in the trunk, But that was, in hindsight, looking at it, that was God blessing me with an opportunity.
And that was the hustle. That was the hustle in Nipsey Hussle. Pay attention to what's going on right now, bro. It's dropping gems right now, bro. Pay attention. Smash that like for me, y'all. If you're new to the channel, sub to the channel. If you just popped in here, smash that like. That
was rare, and everybody used to come through. The people I know, like, hey, bro, this shit is crazy. Like, we see you. I just watched you make like $400-500 in 10 minutes, and you out here all day, every day, 7 days a week, man. This shit don't happen. Don't stop. Don't take no lunch breaks. Don't. This shit is different. So,
and this is all cash.
Yeah, all cash. I used to walk around. I have sweatpants with zippers that I made. I used to have the 20s and the 50s and the 100s in this pocket, looking like this. I used to have the 5s and the 10s in this pocket. That's the change, and you just be in there.
Hey man, you know how sometimes when we caught up in it, did you ever think about this could be over?
Yeah, I think my goal, especially once I started making as much as I was making, I'm like, all right, I'm trying to peel a million out of this. That's why I'm there 7 days a week. I'm not taking no breaks. I'm there 20 hours a day. I'm going burning, making my
So by that time, did you have multiple burners?
Yeah, we went all in. I got 27 stack burners. I got other people burning stuff for me. It's just taking it to the next level. We wholesaling, just trying to get to that level. And people also, I'm in somebody's hood. I'm getting money. They seeing it. So those niggas coming up there trying to rob me. I'm up there with a pistol, bulletproof. I'm in the rain with pneumonia, with an umbrella.
Yeah, man.
I'm looking at if I'm not there, I'm losing 2,500 or 1,500 on a slow day. So, everything happened for a reason, and the only thing that could have stopped me from being there 7 days a week was you know, them coming in and trying to, Motion Picture Association ended up coming in trying to.
Damn.
Yeah, trying to blitz and trying to open up a case on me.
So how do they find you if you're in the parking lot and you can ghost out?
Yeah,
they found you though.
Yeah, I think you know, it was like cat and mouse after a while. Like every day, police would pull in. I used to have the lookouts. You know, they'd be like, Sam. So I slam the trunk and just go inside. It's lunchtime when the police come and then come back out. But eventually somebody probably called in or did something where they start investigating. Motion Picture Association came out. They had like a squad, and you know, then they blitzed. I end up, you know, tussling and getting away. But then one of my partners that I know, he was a sheriff. He's like, hey, look, it's some new shit going on. They getting task force, and if the motion picture come out, they open the file on you. Like, did they take pictures? I'm like, yeah, they was snapping pictures of license plates. He's like, oh, they coming. They gonna open the file on you. They coming. So that's what led to. I'm like, all right, took everything out the houses, wherever the addresses was at, granny's house, mom's, took the bread, buried the bread.
Yeah,
you know
I know. And how much did you bury?
Buried probably like $250.
In cash?
Yep.
And then when you buried the $250, did you get popped at that time?
Nip rapped about this too in a song, and how when they dug it up, that shit was like molded and all kind of shit. They had to like use blow dryers to dry the money out. That shit is crazy.
Did you get popped for any of the copyright in that?
Yeah, I got arrested one time, belt out.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So now I'm fighting the case, and then now I'm back in, you know, take a little minute out of my spot. I'm still, you know, trying to get the bread, get to the money, but looking, the spot kind of quieted down. My people like, the police stopped coming through here, so then I'm back at the same spot.
So when you were saying things were hot, you was talking about that hot, not neighborhood hot.
Oh, no.
Just
no.
That CD and
yeah.
Okay.
As far as like me needing to feel like I need to get up out of there. Yeah, that's because I felt like it was an open case on me.
Yeah, man.
They was about to hit the house, and the spot was all like they going through there every day. The location I was at. So I'm like, all right, it's time to go. Like,
so you buried the 250, and then you go to Africa.
Yeah.
How long are you in Africa?
We in Africa for like 2.5 months.
Oh, so you had what was that experience like?
It was crazy. I think you know, we had to wrestle Nip to go with us.
Right, because he didn't want to go. Was Nip with you in the when you were doing the CDs and DVDs and everything at a distance?
And Nip was doing his thing. You know,
right.
he was hustling. He was getting money a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. He put me up on that CD thing a long time ago when he was in high school. Mm. He actually built the computer, young, with the burner in it, and was showing me. I was like, man, he's bringing backpacks full of equipment. He stole computer parts, and then he bringing it in the bedroom. We share the bedroom. I'm like, bro, get this shit up out of here, man. I'm clean. I want my shit clean.
Right.
I'm like, get this junk out of here. I'm building the computer. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. You building the computer. So he built it, and that motherfucker was working, and then he stole a CD burner. He got one, and he put it in, and he showed me, and he came back, I think, one day from high school with like $300. And so this is the time I'm flipping burgers still. I'm making like 60, 70 a day. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I made 300 today, man. And I'm
off of
the CDs. Yeah. You know, all the news, he was telling me, I go to Napster, I'll get it before it comes out. I got a list. And he showed me these lists. He like, I got another 300-400 orders that I'm burning today to get to school. So I was just, now I'm like, all right, show me. And so now he showed me everything. And, you know,
that wasn't junk anymore, huh?
It's not junk. And, you know, at this point, he was still kind of shorter than me. So I'm like, all right, this mine. Right. I took over so he was mad. We arguing back and forth.
You take over the Enterprise?
I'm taking over this burner for a minute. But no, I always joke and laugh. Like, man, he any hustle we was ever on, me, everybody, our friends that we grew up with, you know, bro was the visionary and brought it to the team.
From an early age.
From the early age, man. Early age.
Damn. So when you see that there is this lucrative thing that can go on, and Nip is already on it,
right?
And you take it, you say, man, it went from trash to treasure, and it becomes your thing.
Right.
You go for 2.5 months to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You bury the money before you bounce.
Yeah.
You come back home.
Growing up, but I think for me it was like, you know, we in the hood, and you know, I don't want nobody when I'm gone breaking in the house and stealing the money or breaking into granny's house, or even if the police come,
Right.
they hit the house when I was. So my thing was like, man, what can I do? So it was immediately I'm finna get a shovel. You know, it took a lot longer than I thought. I'm trying to dig as deep as I can without sweating and passing out, but I got it probably like good 6-7 feet deep.
Damn.
Rolled the motherfucker safe in there.
What was the money in? It was like $250,000.
Yeah,
what was it in?
It was wrapped in plastic, like sandwich bags. Each 1,000, we had it wrapped up, rubber band over each 1,000.
It took time.
Yeah, it had been like that in the safe.
Right, gotcha.
But that's how it was. Really, the safe was already, it was rubber band up, you know. But then once it got into that hole, I'm thinking, and this is to anybody who don't know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I buy a waterproof and fireproof safe. That shit is not waterproof.
Yeah, so you come home.
Yeah.
Do you dig the 6-7 feet yourself again?
Yeah, 100%.
So you dig your safe out.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Yeah, and I'm digging for hours and hours, pulling my hair out because I'm not hitting the safe.
Right.
And so I'm thinking somebody went in there and got it. And finally, you know, I'm praying like, man, finally I hit. You know, I hit this and I'm like, oh. And then it took me probably like another 4 hours to get it wedged out. Because it's in there, I gotta go head first and I'm trying to flip it around to get to the, and then finally when I get the part with the combination and the key, I forget the combo. So now I'm trying to play with it for another hour. And finally I open it, and when I open it, it's filled up with water.
Yeah, man.
And so then I'm just like, I ain't never had no breakdown. I'm just sitting there, I lose it. I just take everything out, put it in the duffel bag, get out, running the house. I'm going crazy. My mom is like, what's going on? Let's go in the bathroom. She's like, what the fuck is going on? What's the matter with you? And then I'm just trying to figure out like how I salvage it. The money was molded, wet. Each stack was like falling apart. When you pull it apart, it was just crumbling. So moms went and got blow dryers for me, and then so I just went in the bathroom and was peeling them off little by little, putting them to the side and blow drying them till they get back hard so they wouldn't break. And then bro came in, helped me, moms helped me, pops came, helped.
Yeah.
And so we was just in there separating them and trying to salvage as much of it as we could.
You put $250 in.
Yeah.
How much you lose?
Probably like a good, maybe like good 50 was just like
gone.
Like you couldn't do nothing with it, broke all up. The rest of the money we salvaged, and it was just smelt like shit.
Smash them likes. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate everybody who in here. Smash the like if you just got in here. If this your first time to the channel, sub up to the channel, man. Sub up to the channel. Salute my mods. Salute Dre in the building. Salute all my good people. Smash that like.
Fucked up on the edges, but you know, this was like, we counted it up and was like, all right, this is what we got. And then it was the campaign. Like, man, we went Knicks check cashing. How many stores they got in this area? Yeah. We got the map, it's 50 of them. Everybody, 2,000, go. And we just get money orders. Money orders, 2,000. It came to a point where we couldn't even walk into the,
Knicks.
To the Knicks. As soon as we get in the line, they're like, oh, hell no, get the fuck out the store. That money, that bullshit ass money stinks. So we was like, we was banned from the Knicks. Everybody from the Knicks all over the city, if anybody working in Knicks, they remember us.
Damn.
And we was coming through with the 2,000, trying to get $2,000 money orders.
And so, you know you lost 50 off the top. And then the other was stinky money.
Yep.
But you were able to get that back. So you lost 250 complete. I mean, 50 complete.
Yeah, 50 was
and
like.
that's 50 real ones.
Yep, 50 real ones, man. And it was all the 100 stacks.
Damn.
The 100 stacks be just 10 bills. It was the 5s, the 20s, and the 10s that survived, because the top, it was 1,000, but the top 2 bills would go to waste. The bottom 2 bills would go to waste. So when it's a 5, a 10, or a 20, you may lose like $40. On them 100 stacks, you lose the faux top and the faux bottom. That's the whole 1,000 gone. So it was the low denominations that we were able to save, which was good. And it was good that, you know, a lot of the bills was low bills. So
where do you go from there though? Once you dig it up and you do all the nicks and try to get it back, what's the next so-called hustle that comes? Because is the other game gone now?
The other game is not gone at this point, but it's different, and I'm hot. And
in the chat.
You know, my goal was for number one, I'm not spending shit.
Right.
So at this point, I'm not spending nothing. I'm in the bucket, you know, I'm not spending nothing, but we had one good Christmas, made sure that the fam got cars and everybody was good, and after that, I'm not spending nothing. And at this point, it was like, we gotta spend it. So now it was like, what we gonna spend it with? And Hustle was getting money. Hustle was like, look, this is what we need to do. So he like, man, I'm putting everything I got in it. Let's throw some money at it too. So that's when we went, and that's when we on the jewelry, and we spending money on certain things and really building the label up. You know, all equipment. You know, we bought a spot, got another spot in Atlanta. We just going trying to, like, you know, build the infrastructure and get the team right.
So Nip already got them. He already got the music bug and already got thinking music business.
100%.
So take what we have and put it into music. Put it into, you know, the dream.
Yep, 100%.
Did you trust that early on? Because you had already seen it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I trusted it because, like I used to tell everybody this, but him also, when I first heard him write something, I couldn't believe it. You know, I was like, you wrote this? He like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, this is special. And so, you know me, I'm like, shit, my brother wrote that? So I start trying to write some shit. Man, I'm writing for 2 weeks, and I just threw the shit away. I ain't got it, so
man, at certain points, did it feel like Baby Bro was leading Big Bro?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%, man, 100%. And, you know, even since we was young, we always knew he was, like, special. And, you know, it was always for the older brother, you know, it's an honor that my little brother is doing, you know, things that I can be proud of.
Right.
And just, you know, never failed, man, since we was little. Just
smash them like Shaw. I need you to smash them like Shaw.
So you
always
saw how special your bro, how special Nip was before the world knew how special he was.
100%. I think anybody at this time, a lot of people ask me this question, like, man, when did he? And I'd be telling them it wasn't no when, it was always. Anybody that was around him from young, he was certified gifted as a little kid. Anybody that was around him, his charisma, he always stood out. People always were like, no, this guy is special. From a little kid to junior high to high school to, you know, in the neighborhood, the homies.
Yeah.
Everybody like, nah, this dude is special. Everybody, you know, Nip led. You know what I'm saying? That people followed and respected and looked up to. Older, young, it didn't matter. They knew.
Who tapped into the neighborhood first?
Hustle.
Oh, really?
For sure, Hustle. You know, I'm young, and I'm going to school in Watts before him. So as far as like knowing about hoods and gang LA culture, I was exposed to that first, going to Watts and going to school at Markham, outside of our neighborhood and what we saw. But once, you know, obviously Nip get older, Nip in our neighborhood, which I never wanted him to be a part of. Right. You know, honestly, you know, anybody, and I say this, anybody that grow up and understand, you don't want your little bro being a part of, you know, some shit that you know is destructive. My goal was always, we gotta get this bread and we gotta get the money and we gotta, you know, we need to make sure that we own. So, you know, seeing Hustle and me not being able to do anything about it either.
Right.
You know, it's like, man, you know, only thing I could do at a point, it came to a point where Hustle was so deep in and so involved and so much going on around him in the neighborhood, with the politics in the neighborhood. It's like, all right, now, you know, I gotta be there with bro, and I gotta be, and people need to understand, like, yeah, this is his bro, and his bro is here, and, you know, if nobody else is tripping, I'm tripping. And Nip had a certain unit, and that was our unit. But yeah, definitely Hustle.
Were you always concerned when you start seeing him going down a certain path? Because you already know, man, like, dude, he's studious, he reading books, he's building computers, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then there's always a time where we got some of this and some of that, you know, and he had this and he had that. Were you concerned when you saw Nip kind of getting in a lot more?
Yeah, 100%.
What would you tell him? Would you tell him, like, man, you got this music, or he just wasn't listening?
I think at that point, we was all trying to get money. You know, Hustle was getting to the money, but at the same time, he was associating and hanging out, and, you know, it's, I'm like full-time, get the money. Hustle was half and half. And, you know, the other half could get you, going for a long time. So that was the dynamic at that time. Once it, transitioned into full-time hustle trying to do the music, that's where I felt like, okay, this is the opportunity. Right. And honestly, this is what now, okay, whatever I can add to this, whatever I can help with in any way I wanna be there and support, because this is the direction that I know. Number one, bro, is super talented. Mm-hmm. Like I tell him, like, man, if you wasn't talented, bro, I'd have told you, like, come on, man, let's do something else. This ain't gonna work. But I full-heartedly believe, and I know that this is his calling, and this is something that's, channeling his energy in the correct way.
Could you believe how talented he was early on? Like when you say he wrote a rap, you're like, dude, you wrote that?
Yep.
Like, did he always amaze you?
Yep, always amazed me, and everything. That's what I tell everybody, man. Everything I ever heard from him, everything was special, and I was surprised. So, me, Fats, my cousin Adam, everybody, our inner core team was like fully behind Hustle.
Did you feel like you had to put a circle around him too?
Yeah, 100%. He had a tight crew, and then so I wanted to make sure that I came with and helped build the circle and just make sure that, we from this area, but as crews within the area. And you know what I'm saying, niggas need to understand that our crew and Hustle crew is one of them crews. And you know what I'm saying? So that was the goal. And that was the people that you see today, that's all money in, that was the crew. That was the crew before anything that people understood and knew, like, all right, this is Hustle crew.
Smash them like Shaw. Salute the mods. Salute the chat. Smash them like Shaw. I'm trying to get to 100 likes. After we get to 100, let's get to 150. Salute the chat. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Smash them like Shaw.
And it's gonna be consequences behind.
And this is like, we make it or we don't. This isn't a group of people that somebody got on and you just started adding to it.
100%. This is the crew. When them hood politics start coming, and when motherfuckers start being like, you on your own, this crew is not with that.
Right.
This crew is like there.
Did you feel like you had to go a little harder in because you had to make sure that nobody did fuck with y'all? Like it had to turn you into a little bit more of, like, man, you can't fuck with this.
I think Hustle led by example, and Hustle was known for that. And both the Fats and Kabi and everybody that Stone, Hustle main crew, Hoggy, that's what the crew was known for off the top. So I think, to answer your question, yes. If that's just anybody in any crew.
Right.
So either you're gonna be respected or you're not gonna be respected.
Yeah.
So, we was on Crenshaw and Slauson.
Yeah, man.
We had the shops. We lost them. We had spots all up and down Slauson. Weed spots. We had a
Salute Eddie Boy in the chat. Salute, gang. Salute.
lot going on, and yes, it had to be known, and it was known. Like we ain't them. We not the guys that the older dudes is coming through trying to extort. It's not happening.
Right.
We not the guys that's going for anything. Too many times that I can't even speak about. Somebody came, said one disrespectful thing. Hustle, take the chain off. Take his chains off, squabbling.
Yeah, man.
So people knew don't say nothing to Hustle, and that's if Hustle was around all his crew or was solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, intense on everything. Intense on the music. Intense on the hustle. Intense on the street. Intense. Yeah. So.
100%. That was Hustle.
Yeah, man.
That was Hustle, man. That's why he was respected. That's why the young kids in the neighborhood loved bro. They seen him pull up solo. In the bulletproof, hop out all the jewelry. On Victoria, on Bryanhurst, and certain people say the wrong thing. Hustle in the middle of the street, squabbing. Mandatory respect. And at the same time, leading by example and providing inspiration. You know, people seeing Hustle do it. They know Hustle was there with them. They know Hustle sold dope with them. And they see Hustle. And then when he talk, they listen and he giving you game. He like, look, this is what you need to do. You know, so many people from the neighborhood was inspired first, you know, hands-on, and also from other neighborhoods, you know, from so-called neighborhoods that was enemies. You know, they to this day, man, people be, you know, seeing me, or even they would see bro and just be like, man, you know, I'm from Woo, but man, like we got our shop and we started our record label, and you know, so I think in LA in gang culture, Hustle just inspired everybody and
inspired the people. Inspired the people.
And led by example, and that's why, you know, the whole city saluted what he was doing.
Sam, talk to me about like the days of when y'all did start the T-shirts and things, and you know, opening up stores, always being entrepreneurs as well. You know, it's probably thinking about things we weren't even thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Like opening up stores. Like when did that start for you guys? When y'all started thinking, like, man, we wear T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? We need to sell them.
I think we was trying to get money, and you know, it was a lot going on, multiple arrests for myself, and I think me and Fats, man, we was selling T-shirts, and then we had the weed on the low. But the main reason for us being in the parking lot was like we're selling shirts, we're selling T-shirts, boxers. So it kind of started off kind of as a front, honestly.
Right.
And then we would have the movies, we would have the weed, but when the police pull up, we like, man, it's T-shirts. And we start seeing the demand
Were
for
y'all
it.
on the streets or y'all had brick and mortar at that time?
No, we was on the streets at this time.
Gotcha.
And we was in front of Louisiana Fried Chicken.
I know it well.
Check cashing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the homies used to stay there and sell dope at the check cashing. When everybody get their cashes, they check
first
cashing.
person you see.
And so now we there too. And so, you know, we would get people cashing checks. They would come spend with us. T-shirts, the homies would buy shirts, and we start noticing that we short stopping the swap meet. Slauson swap meet.
Yeah.
We short stopping them now. Everybody coming buying their T-shirts from us. And it started turning into something. And we start selling out every day.
Y'all just had tables out there?
Yep, had a table, trunk, and then we'd go from the trunk back and forth and turn that spot into a money spot also. And then police start coming and start seizing our stuff.
Is this after your DVDs?
Yeah, this after that. So,
Gotcha.
You know, I couldn't go to that spot no more because it was done. And so now I'm like, we need to find another spot. We got blessed and found this spot, and it turned into something again. And obviously, same program. We there every day. I'm going, you know, Hustle, making his rounds, pulling up on us, chilling with us for a minute, going back, doing what he needed to do. He had spots, other spots everywhere. He was doing his music. And Fats, I used to pull up, knock on Fats' door. Hey, bro, come on, get him at 6 in the morning, and we'll just be there, bleeding it till like 12, midnight, 7 days a week. And, you know, we would have never stopped. Police came, kept coming. Finally, they came and they started seizing our clothes, taking everything. And I'm talking about back to back, we'll go spend $1,500 on just a gang of shirts. They'll come take it the next day, take the next day. So we just getting defeated. Like, damn, we can't keep spending this shit. And they taking it, talking about they giving us a ticket. And I think it was in a documentary, man. But I remember the one police officer. You know, we like, bro, it's a black officer. He be like, man, why you keep taking our shit, man? We selling shirts. He like, man, shut the fuck up. Y'all niggas wanna sell T-shirts, you know, go rent a building and pay lease like the rest of the tax-paying citizens. So I'm like, man, fuck you, man. So he ended up leaving. And so we sit on the curb, I'm mad, feeling defeated, and I just look up. And I'm looking across the street at the plaza, 3420, and I see a big ass for lease sign. And so I was like, oh, that's God. You know what I'm saying? That's God. I called the number, and we ended up getting that lease. And that was the first brick and mortar store we had called Slauson Tees. And
literally sitting there and looked over, and there it was.
Yep. And I was like, oh, that's a sign. So we got it, and same thing. We up early. We got the tables. We started off with one table in there with like a box of socks, because we spent everything trying to get the place. And then things start rolling again, and now we making money back, hands over fist. You know, the journey, it was always ups and downs. We up for a minute and then we down. We up for a minute, we down. But the key was just stay at it. And Sloss and T's turned into something just like crazy. We across the street, we had the homies across the street with the tables at the check cashing. We had them pointing to sending everybody traffic to us. And it was just ping pong. We running across the street. And you know, we had the movies, we had the weed, we had everything booming. People coming from every different neighborhood. All they girls coming to Crenshaw and Slauson, pulling in the lot. Sloss and T's turned into something that was just like big, and it was bigger. And then Nip is doing music, and you know, anytime Nip would pull up, it's like Michael Jackson pulled up in the hood.
Gotcha.
Nip pull up, everybody pulling up. And this is before any deal, anything. We'll be like, bro, you gotta stop pulling up and hanging out in the front, man. It's, you know, you got 100 Crips in the front. Customers driving by scared to pull up. This is that.
Shout out to the chat. Smash them likes. Smash them likes. Top of the morning to everybody who just pulled up in here. You feel me? Smash that like on your way in. If this your first time to the channel, sub up. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute the mods.
That time.
So when you see that you guys are brick and mortar, things start going, that had to give you that bug of like, man, this is something that we can continue to do.
Yeah.
What did you learn early on when you go brick and mortar?
You know, we was no rules at that point.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, we was hungry, we was thirsty, we was doing everything. We had fake Louis bags, we had fake Lacoste shirts, we had the fake Nikes. Remember when the Jordans, everybody had, we had everything in there, and you know, we was thinking it was never gonna end. We was like, oh, this is crazy. We the store ended up making damn near like $4,000-5,000 a day, just cause we had
right.
the Jordans, we had it was just, you know, and then we get hit. You know, we get hit hard too at this
right.
point. Detectives.
Oh shit.
Motion Picture Association come back on me right there. 77 precinct. So they hit the shop. You know, it was multiple, you know.
You just saw different jackets.
Yeah.
Just reading it like, oh.
Yeah, I got stuck. That's what stuck me. That when they raided that got me stuck. I end up I was already out on joint suspension, had like 5 or 6 felony arrests that I was fighting, and then this one they came in, probation department came with them. They raided like it was 40 different police officers. And they got me, and so I ended up going, and I didn't get out. I was in for like 22 months. And when I get out, the shop is gone. We lost the shop.
So it's almost 2 years later.
2 years later, but Hustle got signed, and Hustle was in New York, and Hustle is in the magazines, and so my whole time in, I'm getting, you know, I'm feeling like, all right, I'm not even tripping. It's meant to be. I was out for as much as I was needed to try to help as much as I could, and then now bro got it from here. And transition has happened, you know what I'm saying? And, you know,
you were getting word that Nip was moving?
Yeah, he's sending me, you know, I'm on the phone with them every day, I'm hearing about it. He's sending me magazine articles. You know, I'm listening to the radio. You know, I see the music video, the first music video, Hustle in the House. So definitely, man, I'm in there just like, you know, pumped and happy, like this little time ain't shit.
Do you know you're coming home to it, or did you think it moved past you?
I know I'm coming home to it.
Yeah.
I'm coming home to it, you know, and I wasn't doing a lot of time, so, you know, I think Hustle was, his key was like, you're gonna come home to something legit. So, you know, that was a blessing, and that's what I came home to. I came home to something legit that was like out of control. This is the time when Bullets Ain't Got No Names Volume 2 was out. So Nip was the hottest thing in the streets. Nip, New York buzz was going crazy, and you know, head on. My goal was, you know, obviously I can't be, you know, there with a handout or trying to like you know, take. So my goal was like, how do I, you know, do what I'm known to do, and that's try to add value to whatever is going on. So that was the mind state, and my goal was I need to get the shop back, and you know, we went through a couple of hurdles trying to get the shop back.
The same shop.
The same shop. You know, couple different little hurdles, but we ended up getting the shop next to it, bigger, and we turned that into Slauson Ave clothing. And from there, you know, Nip the Hustle in the House video, the Crenshaw crew neck. Everybody was hitting the MySpace and hitting the articles. The social medias. And Adam and Nip I think Adam actually was like, man, everybody keep asking for this Crenshaw crew neck. So I'm like, huh? I'm like, hold on, what you talking about? He like, yeah, the sweater Nip had on in the Hustle in the House video. Everybody on here, that's what they, man, where can I buy one? Where can I buy one? So I'm like, all right, that's it right there. That's all I need to hear. That's God. Once again, like, okay. So me and Fats, we about to make these. So we went, we reproduced the custom Crenshaw crew neck and the hoodies. And we back across the street at the table. You know, and from there we were able to get the unit and turn that into Slauson Ave. You know what I mean? And then it's the same thing, ping pong, and that shit turned into something bigger than the first one. And but the only difference is now instead of selling fake shit,
right,
we selling our own shit, and you know we creating the brand and Hustle. You know, is putting it on his back. Every video, people come through. He's branding it. He's getting people to come and support, and you know, he made that sweater even more iconic. And when you see a Crenshaw crew neck or a hoodie or a shirt, you think of Hustle.
Yeah, man.
And so, you know, from there, Hustle goal was like, we got to create a clothing brand, and you know, what was birthed was the Marathon clothing. You know, after his mixtape, the Marathon Continues, the TMC. I was like, TMC, Marathon Continues, man. Hold on, Marathon Clothing. So we all go high-fiving because we don't know what to call it. And that was it. And one of the things was, you know, while the sweater and the crew necks is getting famous, everybody start bootlegging our shit.
Oh.
And so we like, man, how do we stamp like that it's
now
official?
You wanna,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? How do
you
we,
were the guy at first, huh? Now you all tripping.
Right. You know. I said we gotta respect the game. You know, they bootlegging our shit,
but not too much.
Right. How do we stamp it? Hustle like, nah, we gon' if the tag ain't Marathon, the Crenshaw crew neck is a knockoff, and that was genius. And so now people like, yeah, that's if it ain't got the Marathon on it, it ain't the real one. Yep. And you know, and it was off to the races, man, and you know, just direction from Hustle, you know, always. I remember he had some people come through with cameras in the shop. And you know, me, I'm in the shop, man, who was all these people, all these white dudes with cameras, man? What's he like? Nah, they cool, bro. So I'm looking, they taking pictures. They end up being the hundreds. They had talked to Bobby 100. He like, I'm doing a blog. I want to come to the area. I want to drive around with you. I want to come to your shop. And so, you know, initially I'm like, man, we don't need all these dudes in here taking pictures, man. The next day, we had surfers, we had white dudes coming through. We seen so much traffic. Everybody was coming to the shop trying to get a Crenshaw hoodie or a Crenshaw crew neck. And so I was just like, man, Hustle. I'm telling him, he's like, I told you, bro.
He knew it, huh?
He knew it. And it just turned into, you know, it just kept going to something big. And Hustle's like, yeah, we need a branded store. We need a store called the Marathon Store. And it needs to be like, you know, our version of the Sanrio. We need to create products. The Marathon Store needs to create, you know, Marathon clothing products, the Marathon branded products. You know, he was talking, I want a branded money machine. He was just, you know, giving us the ideas and we taking notes like, all right. And so, you know, I want to have a Marathon water. I want to have he's just telling us like, you know, and we start seeing the vision like, okay, all right, this is something big. And, you know, little by little, you know, we was just stacking the money, Hustle, stacking the bread. And contributing, like, bro, put this towards this, put this toward this. And, you know, the people supported. And, you know, the brand was built by the people, man. Just the area, anybody would come from out of town, they would always want to come and support. And that's how we were able to open that the Marathon Store, the official.
Do you know what's crazy about even just Marathon and Crenshaw? Like, Crenshaw was already famous. People knew Crenshaw, you know, movies and On the Wall. But y'all made Crenshaw worldwide.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man, because I know that you've seen people that look like they wouldn't even know about Crenshaw. Sam, we're taking a brand now, and that you see is worldwide. You got an amazing crew. You know, you can't even say staff. You know what I'm saying? You got you have an amazing crew at that time, bro. Did you ever feel like, man, this is really happening? not were you surprised by how big things were becoming, but did you always?
R.I.P. Nip. R.I.P. Nips in the chat right now, y'all. R.I.P. Nip. Shout out to the chat. Please smash that like. If you've been in here kicking it, smash that like. If this your first time to the channel, sub up to the channel. I appreciate all y'all. Salute my mods in the building, all my good people. Pharaoh, Self-Savior. I see y'all in here. Arthur, I see y'all.
Envision that either your little bro was going to be this guy, or did you always envision that there was something bigger for you guys together, or you couldn't see what this either was becoming or what it is now?
I think definitely never, me personally, I never envisioned that, you know, it was gonna become, you know, where Hustle took it. I had no clue.
Y'all.
But I always felt.
Get them likes up, y'all. Shout out Shaw. Shout out Shaw. I don't know what that first name is, but salute you, Shaw, for the sub. If this is your first time to the channel, sub up. If you just enter in the chat right now, smash that like.
Like we was gonna be good because we was hustling, and we was gonna, regardless, we were gonna have. That was for me. That was the thing. Like, we want to make sure we have. We want to make sure the family got it.
Got it.
Like, Granny getting a new Jaguar, Mom's got to get a Benz, Pops got to get a BMW, you know, and get some jewelry. And
y'all were able to do those things.
Yeah, that was the for us young growing up. That was like, you made it.
Yeah.
So now when you in that, reality hits. Like, okay, hold on. How this can't last? How do I legitimize, or what is the next level? Because it's nothing, you know, it's nothing. It's the foundation of what we doing. It doesn't last when you're doing anything illegal or you're on the street. So with that, I think Hustle had the vision, and Hustle was like, nah, this is what we gonna do. And every time Hustle would lead the way, and I remember Hustle telling, like, this clothing gonna be big. It's gonna be one of the biggest things we do watch. And you know, just Hustle, just having the script, like, man, we gonna stay independent with the music. You know, we gonna have a label, and you know, I'm gonna always have my masters, and just, you know, Hustle. You know,
how do you know that so early on, man? Especially in a time where everybody's like, man, I gotta be on Def Jam, I gotta be on this, I gotta be on that, whatever the label is.
Right.
How did you guys had a wherewithal to, like, no, we gotta own the masters? We hear a lot of that now.
Right.
And at some point, man, you just want to get in so bad that you'll take anything.
Yep.
You know, what made him or you guys decide, like, no, we gotta do it our way?
I think that was Hustle, man. You know, that was Hustle. He educated himself always. And I think he read a lot of books. And, you know, I remember him telling me, like, look, this is what, and also him trying to involve us and others. I think his what's the word I'm looking for, man? The way he wanted to build something that other people could be involved in. So if he was thinking solely for himself, maybe he would have been like, oh, I need a deal.
Right.
But he was like, look, this is how y'all could add value. This is how y'all could have ownership. This is how we could get in business. Yeah, I do music and I'm an artist, but we gonna start a label. And this is how Master P did it. This is how Cash Money did it. This is how Jay and them did it. So it was examples. And he just wasn't saying like this how they did it. He had the details. He had books. He had, look, this is the split. This is the type of deal. This is who they did it with. And so, you know, he's lacing us and making us believe and giving us value. Like, okay, shit, yeah, we don't do music, but we can be in the music business and we can create a company. He formed the companies. He like, look, I incorporated this, and he had business cards, and you know, he had the vision for the markets that he wanted to, you know, go at. And he like, we're gonna put posters up and we're gonna sew up our area first. And then after that, we're gonna go to here and go to here. And, you know, I think anybody that talked to him and saw how sharp he was and educated he was like, all right, along with the talent, but they was like, all right, now he's not just an artist. He's a businessman and he knows what he wants. And I think
that's a fact. Marcus Jones. Salute Marcus Jones in the chat. That's a fact.
That's why everything he said he was gonna do, he was able to accomplish it.
Yeah, man. It was times, bro, where he'd tell me about, Big, have you read this book? Have you, other people asking, have you went to this restaurant? Have you tried this? You know, and it was always a book. I remember we did that cruise, and everybody else was throwing pool parties and this, that, and the other, and he did like just a seminar where he just talked about business.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? And opening up. And it was times, bro, away from the radio stations and away from, the limelight, just the conversations that I would have. And you got to think, bro, like, I'm damn near 20 years senior, but I'm listening to bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening because when a wise man speaks. Yep. And you guys trusted that, and you also understood, like, man, we can add value to this as well. And just a good team of people working for a real common cause, bro.
Yeah.
And you look at, when you say the Master P's, the Cash Moneys, the Rockefellers, those are things that you had a chance to look at, and then you guys become that, where you give other people, I know you had to see other people with hope that, man, we doing the same thing.
Yep, 100%. And one thing we used to always, with Hustle, he was always willing, and I think he, his driving force was to inspire people, and so, honestly speaking, I'm very territorial, like, hold on, like, it's a good idea, like, hold on, don't get that idea, like, that's us, we gotta do this, and Hustle would, always, like, we ain't even, you just told us about this, we still working on it, and you telling the next person, or you telling the next person, you telling Hustle, be like, nah, bro, it's cool, we gonna, get a game, and, we gonna be good, but he always wanted to,
share the wealth, share the wealth, share the knowledge.
Yep, and that's one thing that we used to laugh and joke, like, oh, bro, don't. But when you look back and take a step back, man, it was a quality that definitely other people appreciated, and I myself had to be like, man, Hustle was just, his goal and his purpose, like, he really wanted to always inspire, and then he also got a kick out of seeing somebody achieve. Like, he loved it, and I think that made him feel good.
Hey, man, I remember even the Smart Store, when y'all opened up the Marathon Smart Store. Yep. I was like, what the fuck is a Smart Store? Yep. And early on, we used to like, yeah, you can come in and you can point your phone at this. And I'm like, what? And then is it Idris?
Yep.
Idris Sandu.
Yep.
I remember, man, when he told us the story about how he met him, he said he was like, went to go get a green juice, and Idris was in there, and he said, man, I just kept walking past, bro. That he was doing something with his hands and making things move. But even just to tap in to something like that so early, bro.
Yep.
When and peep it and understand, man, this is the next thing. And now you see certain things now, man. Like Nip was on before we even had the scans where everything could just be scanned. Now everything is scanned like that. And when you talk about a Smart Store, bro, nobody was thinking about that.
Man, I'm gonna tell you a story, man. That goes to Hustle Genius. We scrambling, trying to get the store open, and we did like a little mini doc, and we made sure the store was filled up with clothes, and we trying to, fold them correctly and make sure it's clean, and we finally ready, probably like a week and a half before the grand opening, or maybe like 2 weeks, and we doing our countdown. And Hustle like, yeah, man, I just met this guy at the Starbucks. I was going to get a tea or something, and I seen him, and I'm like, huh? He like, yeah, we about to make the store a Smart Store. So I'm like, what? I'm like, no, we don't got time for that. I don't even know what, like you say, I don't know what is the Smart Store. He like, no, trust me, bro. So I'm pulling my hair out. I'm mad, like, man, what is this? And so I meet Idris, and he's telling me this, and I'm like, bro, we don't got time. So we end up, he get it, and he make everything. He go in, and he integrate it with the clothing, and geofence it, and then so I'm learning things that I had no clue about. And in hindsight, looking now, when that store opened, and it was the first Smart Store, and that's why I just like, Hustle, the genius of Hustle, man, and so many different things like that he's done. But it's always, driven from his vision, and he got the right vision. And, to this day, people still talk about that Smart Store.
Oh yeah, bro.
And just him seeing Idris and seeing him young, black, dope at technology, and wanting to do something with him, and wanting to, you know, have him a part of the store grand opening, and then him also, you know, just being excited.
Yo, that smart store that bro did was so different. I remember being in that smart store, and I remember seeing people who was like traveling from all kind of places, overseas, from everywhere in this store. They making purchases, and instead of them having to take all the bags and everything with them, they getting it shipped straight from the phone. Everything getting it shipped back to the where they're from. That was the illest shit I ever seen, bro. He was ahead of the curve on a lot of shit. Respect.
Excited to see Idris keep taking it to the next level. You know, that was something that, like I say, man, that really drove Hustle.
What made you guys want to like really do business and be a part of the community as well?
I think, you know, instinctively, that's that corner, Crenshaw and Slauson. You know, we used to walk from my mom's house to the bus stop on Crenshaw and Slauson in front of the Shell when we was little, and catch the bus to Watts, school bus. There was a Shell's, the gas station there, and I remember when we found out that the owner was a black man. Fucked us up. We was little. We never thought like a black person could own a gas station. And so he was there and he would fuck with us like, what's up, man? What's up? He was cool. He coached basketball, and he liked us because we used to go in there, backpack empty, no books, buy all the 25-cent bags of hot Cheetos, fill the backpack up, go to school, sell them for 50 cents. And we used to come every day, be like, man, y'all getting all the chips and no books. So he kind of took a liking to us, but that's when we thought, you know, ownership from back then. And fast forward, that parking lot behind the Shell is where the shop is.
Yeah.
Hustle, we used to be in there hustling when it was an abandoned building. And then he sold his first mixtape in there, and then we were across the street hustling. And for us to be able to get the shop in that parking lot, it meant everything because we grew up in that parking lot, in that area. And by us getting the shop, the community supported, young, old, people that may have looked at us and been like frowning upon us. At this time, like, man, I'm proud of y'all, man. Y'all got a business, and they made sure that they came and supported. So the significance of that area and being there, and all the money that was spent with us, they saw what it was turning into. So everybody, from the aunties, the grandmas, you know, to the homies, coming spending money, they seen we took it and we flipped it, and we took it and we flipped it, and they saw what the support, you know, what we did with the support. And it was key for Hustle that he stayed, and we opened the first Marathon store there.
Right there.
Because there was a lot going on, man. Police, you know, I'm going to jail, everybody going to jail, they raiding the shop. So at one point it was, you know, like, man, we need to get a shop on Fairfax. We need to open this Marathon store. Like, when we do the Marathon store, it need to be somewhere where we ain't got to worry about this. You know, we get into it with the homies sometimes, and you know, all type of stuff. We like, we may need to do that, but Hustle was adamant, like, nah, that's store number 2. Store number 1, we got to open up on Crenshaw and Slauson. And I think number 1, it was because he wanted to inspire and wanted to show people, like, nah, like I'm from this area and I'm doing something big here and I'm investing here. And number 2, you know, it was an obligation because, you know, we was made and the brand was built from the people's support. So
it was very necessary.
Yeah.
Did the owner of the show ever know that those were the same kids on the other side of the alley?
Man, I don't know. I don't know, because he ended up selling it. I don't know, but I hope so. If he seen Hustle, he probably could put 2 and 2. And some of the employees, you know, he hired all the young, you know, 20-year-olds from the area. So the homegirls was in there working, and some of the homies, when we was younger, we knew that they had jobs. And so I'm sure if they had contact with him, they let him know.
Were you ever concerned about how accessible you guys were?
I mean, yes and no. Just every day, we know where we at.
Right.
So we was always, you know, had to be aware and be on point, dealing with all the different things that go on with, you know, being in the hood. But I think I always felt that, you know, God was protecting, and basically we felt like nothing could happen, like, because we've been through too much, so many different crazy circumstances where, you know, we felt like as long as we do the right thing and we keep pushing forward with the positive, niggas can't, like, it's nothing that could happen. So that was the honest thought, you know, and you know, it's hindsight, man. Just you never understand.
Man, I think as a partner, as someone from the outside looking in, right? I remember just what that day felt like when Nip passed. My mom passed on March 31st as well, right? So literally, I went to my mom's grave and I was doing a comedy show probably like the night or two before. And I wanted Nip to record me a drop like, oh, go see Big Boy's comedy show. He didn't get around to it. So literally on the way home, I was like, man, when I get home, I'm gonna call him like, oh, it's successful and, you know, and do what we usually do, bro. And when I got to the house, I remember my man Fuzzy, he had hit me up and he said, man, I'm over here by Marathon. He said, something's going on over here. He said, they got it blocked off. And I was like, man, I said, he said, I'm gonna try to get closer. And when he called me back, he said, man, they're saying something happened with Nip. What was that day like for you, bro? And did you feel any premonitions before we lost Nip?
100%, man. I think, man, we just, it's my cousin's birthday, so the night, I want to say the night before, Nip took us to Wally's, Beverly Hills, me, Pops, and Adam, my cousin Adam, and just had a long talk with bro, you know, not to get in too much detail, but there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people. You know, Hustle had DJ Khaled in the hood. Not to be speaking too much on shit, but we came frontline like we always do. And, you know, niggas gonna know we gonna crash out behind it. Back, we not playing. Ain't nobody saying nothing to Khaled. Ain't nobody doing nothing to Khaled. And he's straight. And Hustle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that. And did the video. Khaled got out of there perfect and smooth. And, you know, we appreciated Khaled for showing up and coming to the hood and doing the video. And, you know, we knew that this was gonna be one of them videos, man. Hustle brought DJ Khaled to the hood, and you know, had John Legend in the other scene. So we at Wally's, and we just chopping it up about a lot of shit, man. Just, you know, making sure that we on point in security, and when we pull up, it's, you know, we like, Hustle, when you pull up to the shop, call us. He like, bro, I'm not calling you niggas when I pull up. I'm not calling you niggas when I pull up. And we like arguing and just, you know, but turned into, you know, a little bit of that, and then back to the, you know, celebrating bro, Adam's birthday, and Hustle got us the back room, and, you know, family there, chopping it, and just us four. And we stayed there forever, man. And when he walked out,
salute the chat. Salute my sister Queen in the building. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to everybody who just entered the chat. Smash them likes if this your first time to the channel. Sub up. Salute everybody in the chat. Salute my mods. I appreciate y'all. R.I.P. Nip.
We all walked out the back room of Wally's. I think Rivera, one of the guys that filmed the video, just happened to be there. And so he see us walking out, he's like, oh, Hustle, what's up? And he like, man, what's going on? He like, bro, they just sent me the first edit of the video. And so he pulled it up, and he like, man, look at this, bro. You look amazing, bro. You about to do movies after this. Look at this shot. And so Hustle seen it, and Hustle was smiling. Hustle was happy. He seen the shots of the video. He's like, man, he's telling him like, bro, ain't no more small time shit, man. After this, nigga, your shit going out the roof. And so, you know, we was all happy, and shook hands with them, and then we left. And that's the last interaction, bro.
And that was the night before?
The night before, Saturday.
And so Sunday, what was that morning like for you, Sam?
Sunday, it's regular Sunday, man. I think we had spots in the hood. So one of the spots we had a little weed spots, 24-hour spot. And I think it was my boy who usually do one of the shifts. I had to cover one of the shifts. And so I think I was in it all night. And the morning shift came in and I ended up leaving. And so my goal was to go to the house and sleep a couple hours and then go back to the shop and close the shop up for the rest of the night. So I'm at Granny's house, sleep on the floor, and this phone just going crazy, man. It woke me up, and I picked the phone up, and forget who called me, man. I just hear people screaming in the background, and they like, man, bro got shot. So I just immediately just run out the house and jet out the door. My grandma was in the living room watching TV, so she seen me run out, didn't close the door, just got in the car.
Salute Raheem for the sub. Shout out to the chat, smash them likes, RIP Nip. Shout out to everybody who in here, top of the morning to my good people. Caution signs and bowling pins in the chat on Angels.
Grandma's on 5th in Slauson, so the shop is maybe like 6 blocks away. So I just ran every light, every stop sign, and get there, and man, it's just going crazy, man. Everybody screaming, and then I just see bro, and I'm just, it's fucked up, but bro still breathing. I think Kev Mack was like talking to him and trying to tell him, breathe, stay with, just breathe, bro. So I'm looking, trying to, we need to figure this shit out. So somebody had the, I think, ambulance on the phone, and everybody screaming. I was just like, man, shut the fuck up, man. It's just like take the phone, and I'm trying to talk to the ambulance. They say they coming, and they telling me, I'm asking them like what do we need to be doing? And so they telling me to try to administer CPR on bro, and asking me, is he breathing? I'm like, yeah, he's still breathing, And just try to do the best that we could. And finally, police came and ambulance came, and they took him. And so I'm just praying, I had faith that bro was gonna be all right, and then I had a lot of people shot in that parking lot, and I done drove multiple people to the hospital, and I'm like, man, if anybody make it, bro gonna make it for sure. And that was the ride to the hospital, man. Just praying, and I was confident bro was gonna be good, man. And just couldn't understand it, man. Just like the Twilight Zone after that. Everything I believed in, or my faith in, shattered. But
did you get word like right then? Did you follow?
Yeah, followed the ambulance, and they got out, and so I was trying to go to the doctors and ambulance. I think J-Rock, one of the ambulance told J-Rock something, and he came to me. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to hear that, man. I'm trying to figure it out and go talk to them, and then go to the doctors. And then my mom and family was there, and then everybody screaming, and just walked out. fucked up. But
When you walked out, you knew then?
yeah. Yep. Yep. You know, still can't understand it, honestly. Just it's Twilight Zone, man. Don't understand. Shook my whole belief in whatever I believed in, and you know.
Man, that's one of those, it's wild too, because we thought we had it like rough that day.
Right.
Or when we started hearing calls, or we started piecing things together, man. And the first thing I thought, you know, you started thinking about family. You know, of course you pop up, then I'm hearing certain things, and I was like, man, was Jay there? Because I knew we had heard it was a couple people, and I was like, when I called Jay, when he didn't answer, I immediately put him there too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would always see them together, you know, and it's crazy because we never had a chance to talk, but I didn't know that y'all had that much conversation even the night before.
Yep.
About, man, you know, we gotta move a little different. You know, we gotta make sure that security's on set, and, you know, bro doing his regular routine.
Yep.
You know, like at home, you know. With that, bro, it's like, not what is the first thing that you do, man, but where's headspace, man? Because it's hard to just not, you know, either throw it all away or give it all up.
Right.
You know, because we got Nip as friend, music, whatever it may be. You know, y'all sharing bedrooms, that's like me and my bro.
Right.
You know, at some point, do you feel like any of this is worth it, or were you ready to throw it all away?
Oh, no, man. Not 100%, like, crash out, broad daylight, whoever. And, you know, we start figuring out who the streets was saying it was, and, you know, that's what the whole unit was like. Where's this nigga at? Mm-hmm. And, you know, that was the mind space at that point.
Yeah.
Aside from just dealing with, you know, the reality, you know, but it was just go time, man. And, you know, they're gonna make sure the kids is good, make sure his kids is good, and make sure we keep going.
Is it as random as what the public thought it was? Like, Nip seen somebody, Eric, and talked, and...
I mean, you know, he already got...
Yo, big boy, that's low-key a federal question, gang. I'm sorry, but that's kind of crazy. Come on, big boy, you know. Far better than that. That was crazy. I just got to point that out. Don't matter who it is. That was wild, my boy. That was wild. I'm going to run that back, and then we're going to get through this. My bad, but that was crazy.
Make sure his kids is good, and make sure we keep going.
Is it as random as what the public thought it was? Like, Nip seen somebody, Eric, and talked, and...
I mean, you know, he already got convicted, so for me, without going into too many details.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, big boy?
Somebody come to the shop. They know we in the doorway. When Hustle pull up, we in the doorway. You gonna see me with a hoodie on, and I got a pistol on me. You gonna see one of the team members in the hoodie in the doorway with a pistol. That's protocol when Hustle pull up. So it's Sunday. It's busy in there. Why the niggas in there didn't follow the protocol? I wasn't there. Why they didn't follow it? Maybe they was fucking around helping the customer, doing some fucking customer service. This is what I'm thinking, trying to, you know, transition into some legitimate selling clothes. But nobody was in the doorway. And from my understanding, old boy walked up. with no shirt on first to check the scene because he know what's going on in that parking lot, and had a conversation. Probably seen nobody was in the doorways. Checked Hustle had on shorts. Checked everybody else. Left. They say came back with a red shirt on. Tiptoed through the alley and went right and started shooting. So to me, that's premeditated. Number one, there's no red shirts in the hood. You can't buy no red shirt. No liquor store sell no red shirt. Number two, when a nigga come through the alley with a red shirt, that's the throw off, or the Bloods did it, or the Inglewood families did it, or the BPS. That's the throw off, red shirt. So for me, he felt he was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever, and he was nervous. He was supposed to hit that alley with that red shirt immediately, but he didn't do that. He came in and he wanted to check the scene. He wanted to make sure he wasn't getting into a shootout. And that's my thoughts on it. You understand? So can't nobody tell me nothing about that because it just don't make no sense. It's not random, you know. I know Hustle. You know, ain't nobody gonna say nothing crazy to Hustle because they know what come with it, no matter what age you are. Niggas ain't saying nothing crazy to Hustle, wherever you find him at. But on Crenshaw and Slauson, definitely you're not saying nothing crazy. You're gonna come, you're gonna tuck your tail and be humble, and if not, you're getting beat up on the spot. And we done did it a million times. Hustle done did it a million times. So the fact that he left tell me everything I need to know. It was no argument, you know. It was no sense of threat. Because with that come, like, hey, be on deck. It was none of that. It was just, you know, to me it was, let me come through, let me see what's going on, and then let me,
Slimy.
you know, and it's broad daylight, man, and it's,
Slimy.
you know, it's a lot of unanswered questions, man.
You don't believe he had any dialogue with Nip that day, or did anybody say he said something?
Yeah, no, they had dialogue, but it was in the mix of him coming up, talking to bro, and, you know, whatever transpired, it wasn't an aggressive dialogue. It was just maybe small talk, and then maybe people saying Nip brought something up to him. Okay, he may have, but it wasn't. To me, that don't. Whatever the dialogue was, that didn't justify, or that didn't turn into that. You know what I'm saying? He came there for a reason.
Straight up.
And Meg got the reverse.
And I believe that same thing. Everybody talk about, oh, something was said about the paperwork. I don't believe that the way that was done, that was intentional. That was gonna happen regardless. Straight up.
I mean, you got the, you know, charges reversed because Hustle asked him something about it and humbled him real quick. But I think, you know, it's gonna come to the light.
Did you know Eric Holder before?
Yeah, we probably seen him a couple times when he was younger. You know, he hadn't been in the hood like that. They're saying he had some like a snitch jacket on him, or he couldn't come around. You know, me personally, Hustle, Fats, like we seen a lot of the homies raised because we at that shop 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. You know, before it was the Marathon store, when it was Slauson T, Slauson Ave, we had weed spots all in the hood. So we seen a lot of the young homies raised, from kids to teenagers to adults. We watched them, they know us. We know them. Anything we throw in the parking lot, if you from that area, if you from the 60s, if you from the 30s to the 100s, when Hustle throw something in that parking lot, you coming. From whatever it is. You in the hood, you smoking weed, you coming to our spots. He was never at any functions. He was never at any grand openings. He was never at anything Hustle was doing. He was never at any shows. It's because he wasn't good in the hood. So all this other shit niggas is talking about, I don't know it. He wasn't good, you know. He wasn't good, and he was not good, and he was not around for a reason, you know. And to that point, we didn't see him.
Hey, Sam, why was it important to you and to the family to make sure that LA had a chance? And the world, really, because people flying in from Japan, Germany. Why did y'all feel that you wanted to make sure that you did it at, was it Staples? At Staples Center, and take Nip, through every neighborhood. Why was it important for you to share that with us?
Honestly, it was God. It wasn't, it was hustle and God, because we were just, going through it. Obviously, man, we gotta get this funeral handled the right way, and we're trying to hit churches and, black churches, black preachers, and nope.
They were afraid to touch it?
So we couldn't find a venue. And so that we just like, this is crazy. And,
Crazy.
I think Karen Sybil came and was like, we gonna figure this out. And she reached out and ended up like, man, we got the Staples Center on deck. And I think, LeBron and Live Nation, Rock Nation, everybody pulled their resources together and made phone calls. And,
Man, that's what's up.
After weeks and weeks of like, we can't get a venue, like, look, this is, we got the Staples for bro. And so at that point, it was like, all right, man, we gotta make sure we do this the right way for bro. And just trying to plan it, and people came and supported and helped plan it and, make it happen. Definitely the family was appreciative of that. And just driving through the city, man, I think, I know how much, the city meant to bro and how much bro meant to the city. And we like, man, we gonna drive through all of LA, through everybody hood in LA. And, so much, pushback, like, nah, we can't do that. Police, we're not giving y'all an escort. Man, fuck y'all, we don't need y'all escort, man. It's gonna be too many problems going through different people's neighborhoods. I'm like, man, we gonna go through every neighborhood in LA and nothing's gonna happen. Watch. Mm-hmm. People gonna be out there salute, cause.
And we did, bro.
Yep, 100%.
Did you feel like you were just on automatic? Like you weren't in the moment? Did you just feel like you were just kind of floating through it?
It was just, hardest time in my life, and for the family and everybody, man. But, it's just, you gotta follow through, man, and send bro home the right way. And, to this day, man, it still seemed like not real that bro was gone, but at that time, yeah, it was, hard, man, One thing I tell people, man, I never done drugs in my life. I never thought about doing drugs, because I seen, I had uncles, and I always, drunk grandfather, I always was like, man, I'll never be that, so I don't smoke, I'm anti. It's the only time in my life that I ever just thought about like doing drugs, because I can't deal with it.
Make it go away.
Yeah, so there's no way to handle it. So, didn't, but that was the only time in my mind. I'm like, okay, this is why niggas. This is when a nigga can't deal with this shit. Like, there's no way to fix this. This is the hopelessness. That's the feeling at that point.
Is it kind of like the gift and the curse too, Sam, where you're reminded all the time, and that's love.
Right.
But even when you go by and you see like a mural,
Right.
There's no day where because it's gonna be on you every day anyway.
Yeah.
But there's no day that it's not a video, a picture, a song on the radio, somebody rocking the merchandise, a mural, that, not that becomes kind of normal to you, but how do you deal with that? One moment at a time?
Yep. I think, the murals, I'm happy when I see bro on the murals, You know, even shirts, man, I'm happy when I see, you know, bro, because I know his goal was to inspire and, you know, that's like proof. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. That's the proof that he did what he wanted to do. You know, I used to be like, man, we gotta get to the money and, you know, get this shit. And he like, yeah, we're gonna get to the money, bro, but this shit bigger than that. So, I think, my bad, bro, I think yeah, that's just a reminder, like bro lived his purpose. So it's a good thing. Hard things probably is like people trying to take pictures, and that shit never easy. Because I don't, you know, I never been taking pictures. And so when people, like, that's a hard thing for me.
With you?
Yeah, right. That's the hard thing, because it's like, I know that's when it's like, okay, I know why. Like, man. But obviously you understand why, so they're showing love to bro. So it's like, okay, come on. But that for me, that's the going through day, and then somebody, oh, bro, that just brings me back into the mode, like, all right. That, for me, I'll never be able to deal with. I'll never get used to that.
Yeah. When Nip says the marathon continues, that really means something. Either different today, or there's so much that's valid to those words, bro. Why is it important? And I mean, just the work that you guys been doing collectively with keeping the brands and ownership and taking care of the kids and the family, you know. With the marathon continues, why is that so important to you, Sam?
When I hear other people say it, marathon continues, you know, I appreciate it. You know, for me, I can't say the marathon continues. Just for me, I can't, because bro not here. So it's hard for me to say, but when I hear other people say it, I like it, and you know, it'll never be the same without bro here. But like you said, man, us trying to just continue things that he started and wanted to accomplish. I think it's our duty, man. Get this documentary out, get it done correctly. You know, obviously his kids, my niece and nephew, you know, make sure they understand who their dad fully was and what he did, and also, you know, the fruits of his labor, and making sure that they have, I think is the mission. You know, make sure that they got everything that they need, and you know. So I take comfort in knowing that, you know, we working and we building, and this is something that their father, you know, started, and that they have, and they're gonna take over, pass down to them.
Do you still hear Nip or any words?
Yeah, 100%, man. I hear, you know, every second, man, every day, 100%. Yep.
Man, well, I know we're talking about the documentary that's coming, man. You know, the legacy.
Yep.
You know, I feel like, Sam, you've been protecting it so well. And not making sure that it didn't get into the wrong hands, that there's nothing goofy. You know, as much as we love Nip, there's nothing like brotherly love, bro. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just to even get up every day I'm pretty sure at times it is, and I know it had to be extremely hard because I know what loss is too.
Yep.
And man, like bro, I really thank you for sitting down with us, man.
Come on, thank you.
You know, and I know, like I said, when we first started off, this is something that you do.
Right.
And it took me some time to even want to, like, man, not even, oh, I need the interview, I need to sit down, but I just wanted to talk to you, you know, and I thank you for allowing me to sit with you and you to be this comfortable with me, bro.
Come on.
You know, on and off, we've had a chance to talk about you being comfortable, Nip loving what we do as well, man, and I want to be a part of preserving that legacy and continuing that legacy, man, and Sam, thank you for your time, bro.
Come on, 100% big. You know, since day one, you know, you've been supporting Hustle, us. You know, we was little listening to you, so it's an honor, and, you know, definitely Hustle loves you and had a lot of respect, and definitely appreciate you, all the support, and, you know, 100%. I'm honored to be, you know, on this with you, man. So thank you,
bro.
For sure.
And I was talking about this box right here, man. Those boxes, when I flipped the box open I saw that I was in the box.
Right.
Bro, I showed that shit to my wife, Sam, and I was like, I know there's a billion pictures. A billion pictures, bro. And to get in that box, man, is like, you can't tell me shit, bro.
Come on, you part of the story, man. You part of the history.
Ribbon, you know what I'm saying, man? So continue, bro, and you know you got my support and my love all the time, Sam.
Come on, man. Definitely appreciate you always.
Being off here with me, bro. I appreciate and love you, man.
Come on. Likewise, man.
Bro.
Thank you.
Once again.
Respect.
All the time.
Always.
To the chat. That was the Blacc Sam interview, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the chat. If this your first time here, definitely sub up. If this your first time here, definitely sub up. Smash them likes, y'all. Smash them likes. Shout out to all y'all for kicking it with me today on here, man. I got up dumb early, you feel me? Shout out Lucci in the building, all my good people. I see y'all. Queen, Pharaoh. Shout out all my good people. Salute my cousin Dre in the building. All y'all. Big Nat, I seen Nat in the building. Legal Lipstick, my girl Sauce in the building. I see all y'all. Salute to everybody in the chat. Again, smash that like if you in here. Sub up to the channel if this is your first time on the channel. You feel me? That was just a quick little, well, it wasn't quick. That was 3 hours I was on here. I was big stream edition. You feel me? Top of the morning. That was cold game for y'all. All before 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I don't know what time it is out there where y'all at. You feel me? Shout out my dog Lifted in the building. Salute to everybody. Again, smash them likes for me. So we did like UK riot coverage in the beginning. Then I got the phone call from the higher ups, like I can't do that. So then we moved to the Candace Owens Ye interview. And then we moved to the Blacc Sam Big Boy interview. So for those of you who pulled up late, definitely scroll back and peep all that. You feel me? If you haven't, shout out to y'all again for pulling up, rocking with your boy. Smash them likes for me again. If this your first time to the channel, sub up. I know all 149 of y'all ain't subbed up, so sub up. You feel me? Yeah, you got some Candace Owens action, Dark Corner. If you scroll back, bro, it's the whole interview with her and Kanye. It just got released. Yeah, definitely free Palestine. Shout out to y'all again, bro. I'm gonna probably be in Discord doing it up. You feel me? Definitely join up in the Discord. A lot of good people, positive vibes all the time. Get them likes up. I had to boot somebody from the server. I'm gonna just be real with you. They was just kicking up too much dust. Again, like I said, this is a positive place. So if it seems like you're getting into it with every group of people, every single group of people, you have an issue with this or that, it's like you're the common denominator. I'm sorry, I had to get you out of here. You feel me? And that's just for the vibe of my Discord. I can't be having my people want to go off and be over here because, yo, it's too much of this going. I can't have that. So again, you know, good people, positive vibes all the time. And we will eliminate anything other than those positive vibes. You feel me? Again, shout out to the mods in the chat. Shout out to all my good people in the chat. I'm going to tap in with y'all later. We got the LAX Gotham podcast at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I believe. I don't know. You never know. But I believe we do got that going on with my dog Showface News. Salute to the subs. Sub up to Gangland_Pharaoh. Sub up to Gangland_Pharaoh. He got the sci-fi, conspiracy theories, aliens, all that good stuff for y'all. Definitely go sub up to my dog. You see he got the Gangland stamp on him. He's official. That's my guy. Definitely go sub up over there. But shout out to everybody who pulled up this morning. Like I said, I was on here for 3.5, damn near 4 hours. You feel me? Streaming, doing it up for y'all, my good people. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all y'all, and I'm gonna catch y'all on another one. It's your boy Gvnglvnd Niem. Peace. On ALB. Caution signs and bowling pins in the chat too. Please don't never